I'd like to ask you game number 2. What do you think newbie need to be doing differently?
I think newbies got to shake up their draft execution. I don't think it was completely bad draft. I don't think they managed to maximize it though. Like, you wanted that silencer tusk combination to do a lot more work. It did not quite hit that potential it should have. So, you know, you missed out a lot in that early to mid game. You didn't quite get as much space as you wanted for Spectre, and in turn, you couldn't really expect Boogie to do as much as he could towards that late game. And they pick that up here. If they go all in on a draft like that, they have to make sure it works. Like, you stick those two heroes together. If not, you know, you run a bit more of a flexible draft. eHome, they open up with the Grimstroke Pangolier, a really potent combination off the bat. Newbie did steal the center off, and they take the Phoenix as well, which is of course your namesake.
Absolutely, it's a great hero guy. I love seeing it. Of course, we have seen Faith Beyond play the Phoenix, or rather, it's going to be Newbie anyway. I was going to say, could have been Faith Beyond or CinQ, but Newbie with that Phoenix John. I love seeing the hero, and I think it's going to add a lot of value here to Newbie. What a team fight. You've got the Centaur there as well to really stampede and initiate, cause havoc throughout these engagements, and make it very hard for eHome to get anywhere near this Phoenix Egg. Not to mention, with this support duo that they've already picked up on the side of eHome, they don't exactly auto-attack very fast. So it's not going to be easy to rely on your supports to take down the egg while your cores just do what they have to do.
Definitely not. This is going to allow eHome to draft their cores around that Phoenix pickup, though. They could get a ranged core that should be able to take care of it just fine. I do like the ban out Newbie did put in, the Jug ban out that have been really bad for the Phoenix to deal with, mainly because you could just purge that slow off and spin and right click freely onto that egg. So taking that option away from eHome definitely helps the cause of Newbie. I like the shake up in their draft. It's a much more solid combination. They've got a lot more control with the Centaur in there. They've got great sustain and damage coming out with that Phoenix. They are still kind of level dependent, especially with that Phoenix, but eHome now, they pick up the Lifestealer. They've got a great natural vehicle in that Pangolier. They've got a way to mitigate the attack speed slow that the Phoenix brings and the magic damage the Phoenix brings with that Lifestealer. So I don't see too many issues for eHome in dealing with that egg now, at least with his Lifestealer.
Yeah, assuming the Lifestealer doesn't have a direct counter that, you know, something that goes through that rage, he should be okay. Just take care of it himself. Still Newbie. Have 3 picks. They have plenty of time to find something to make it hellish for this Lifestealer to break that gap, and there's one of them. The Bane with the Fiend's Grip is going to be rather hard to go through, but eHome, they don't really worry about that. They go for the Nature's Prophet, and I believe that is going to be an offlane Prophet being played by Faith, and we've seen him on this hero before, and he can be very, very devastating on this pos 3 Prophet, and that's also kind of another way to break that gap. Get that Phoenix Egg, just take care of him, or alternatively just go on the Bane instead, ensure he can't control your Lifestealer, and you can also do it that way.
Definitely. I do like pickup here from eHome. The Nature's Prophet we have seen do a lot of work. Again, he got, I'd say, substantially buffed up in the patch recently, so his Wrath does give him a lot more right-click damage as well, as long as it kills creeps, his ultimate, so that does buff up his push potential, does buff up the damage he deals in these team fights. He can, of course, clear out the Phoenix X, as you mentioned, and he does give you some great pushing presence, and he's a good vehicle for the Lifestealer. But Newbie, they do pick up the Storm Spirit for themselves, and this is going to be an issue for eHome. They don't quite have the best of stuns to keep a hero like that in its place. They do have the Soul Bind, so if they do manage to catch someone with a Storm, bind them together, that's going to mitigate the mobility of that Storm Spirit. But beyond that, they don't really have the best of stuns to keep a hero like that in its place.
It's very true. Seems like a very free Storm game, and of course Storm loves going up against a Prophet, who can be a bit of a slippery hero to catch.
I should have seen that one coming.
This Prophet gonna have to be a little wary of how he split pushes and where he really locates himself with that teleport. Can be a very, very easy target for this Storm to jump on. Still, they do have one pickup to try and make sure they have some sort of counter toward. It's not going to be easy to find one, that's for sure, as eHome. They'll go into their 6th ban. They're still lacking a position 1. I wonder what they've got up their sleeve for it. But now eHome, they get rid of the Slug, which is fair enough. It is one of those heroes that can deal with the lifestealer quite well. B looking to ban out some kind of mid-core for eHome.
Seconds remaining.
Something that Storm doesn't really like going against. Unfortunately for Storm, there's plenty of heroes he doesn't like going against. There's so many you can ban.
I think the bigger mystery here for newbie is what core do they go for? They need something that can probably come online a bit faster. The Storm Spirit is going to be eating up a lot of that space. You're going to want the core that shouldn't take too long to come online. You want something that can deal with towers as well. You know, I reckon something like I think the Lone Druid would be okay. Like, that does take a bit of a ramp up, but as we saw in the last game, Sylar, all he needed was really a Mask of Madness on the bear, and he was active on the map. I think you can definitely fit a hero like that in. It might not be the best against a lifestealer, but the root is pretty darn good against that hero, so that is an option you could be looking at for your last pick.
Could also go for the Troll, right? Like, Troll doesn't take quite as long, and pretty a similar thing. He works well up against the lifestealer, he has that in Snare, and they don't really have a counter towards it apart from maybe the Pango, who can get that disarm with the lucky shot. But now, newbie, they do go ahead and ban out that mid puck, and there's the Troll coming out. So, newbie, I think it's a very smart pickup. I don't think eHome have the tools to really deal with the Storm or the Troll right now, and it's kind of a matter of you've got to make a decision. Which one do you care about more? I still personally think the Storm is probably more important to counter here.
Remaining.
But eHome, they have plenty of time to think about it.
Yeah, the biggest issue they have is that the Storm Spirit can really just zip into their back lines, no problem. And after that, you have great follow-up from the Centaur, great follow-up from that Phoenix. You're gonna need a mid that really just mitigates that. I would have said something like the OD would have been great, mainly because the Troll's there, but it's going to be a bit hard with that Storm. It's not quite the answer you want for a hero like that. It does look like eHome is going to have to think hard. The puck would have been great. Like, that just stops the Centaur ultimate from being as useful as well, so there's value in that. They go with the Lina instead, so you've got this early burst coming out now for eHome. You've got some pretty good laning presence there as well. Nothing to say, of course, going to be on that hero. At the very least, it gives you a way of dealing with the Troll Warlord early on. It still leaves them really vulnerable to the Storm Spirit zipping in and out. So eHome has a very big vulnerability there that newbie can just abuse.
It seems like eHome might be just trying to dominate the lane up against that Storm. Like, maybe if you just shut down AQ in the laning phase and just slow down his farm, it might buy enough time for Faith Beyond to pick up something like an Orchid. And, you know, if you slow down the Storm farm, it's not like he wants to rush something like a BKB anyway. So maybe that's the play. Maybe that's what they're trying to do here. And we're going to find out. Of course, nothing to say. Had a pretty darn good game last time around. We have seen the AQ Storm before, John. And this man is very, very scary on this hero. So far, I think we could both agree that newbie's draft does just look a little bit better.
I think it looks better than game one. They do have, again, that Storm with no real answer from eHome apart from just winning their lanes. I think the issue is, this time around, newbie's earlier start doesn't feel like it's going to be as well, you know, game one, it wasn't dominant anyway. So perhaps they do shake it up a bit. This is a very much an easier combination. Centaur is going to be potent. Phoenix Troll is pretty potent as well. Any sort of dual lanes coming out from this draft is going to be really strong. So the key thing for newbie is to once again win out in that early game. I think that's always going to be their game plan here. Just they can't cede space to eHome, because once you do, you've got a Lina who can push fast. You've got Fate Beyond on the NP, and he's just a total menace with that here. Just split pushing very hard. You've got to watch out for where he is on the map. And you can't give eHome that space. You have to kind of slow them down as best as possible, get these team fights going with your Phoenix, with your Storm, with your Centaur, and snowball from there.
Absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting match. And of course, the odds are on the screen right now. John eHome, the heavy favorites going into this game number 2. See how well that. So I still think Newbie have a very, very good chance of being able to pull this one off. But eHome, they can play very dominantly, as we saw in game 1. So it's quite hard to make that prediction. We'll see. I have a feeling we're going to see eHome get a lot more aggressive early on this game as well. We do have that global presence with the Prophet.
Oh, that is too good.
Much easier just to try and set up, make sure all these lanes go poorly.
Five seconds remaining.
And technically, with the ancient camp now actually being stackable, prior to this patch, it was real hard to stack that camp. And I think
most people didn't bother anyway.
The TLDR, I firmly believe myself. There's no scientific proof of this or whatever. That when you're ahead on Radiant, you naturally want to play top. When you're ahead on Dire, you naturally want to play bottom. And Roche is top.
Yeah.
So it's very clear for Radiant what the game plan is, while Dire has a much less cookie cutter, straightforward way to win the game. Radiant, you take the top 4 towers and Roche, you move to the bottom half of the map, cut them all off after you get the Roche, and you you know, eventually go high ground with your 20k net worth lead. On Dire, it's just not nearly as straightforward because you want to be playing bottom, but you also want to force Roche, so you're kind of having to choose between two objectives on separate parts of the map, rather as Radiant, you get to kind of just take them all at once.
So it sounds like it just simplifies.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying, and that's why I think their win rate's higher. I don't actually think Radiant's technically better. I think it's just easier to play, which comes into play even at the tier 1 level of Dota. That's my opinion, though, right? There's
No, I think a good amount of pro players would agree with the sentiment.
to some degree, maybe it impacts it a bit differently.
There'll probably be a lot of players who like argue for a specific little point. You know, what about Dire Ancients or what about these little things? But or like, how do you pull Radiant Hardcam? What are the mid lane differences? But ultimately, I think the overall sentiment of how the game works, people are fairly in line with that.
Surprised to see Snapfire banned. I was underwhelmed with that hero.
You were? Really?
From seeing her in pubs, yeah. Because as a carry, if I've laned against her when she was 4, the problem was you took her nuke to the face. They increased the cooldown on the nuke, and then everyone has headdresses. So I thought combining those two things, she just didn't scare me as much anymore. By the time she's nuked me again, I've already regened 70% of the first one. So I think Shadow Demon's a hero I've had problems with. Like, I don't know if you've been playing against any Shadow Demons, but I thought this hero, I as an offlaner, Cap yourself, I didn't know what to pick against it when I see a 5-position Shadow Demon. It's scary. I think it's a hard hero to lane against, and I think the meta right now is any 5 that can buy a headdress, potentially, but also can threaten kill potential on you, and the 5 poison stacks, they do like 320 damage or something.
Yeah, it is annoying to lane against that hero. That said, the advantages of like early stick, and then on top of that, the one thing I do really like against Shadow Demons is it's a hero that I'm able to pull and backlane. Like, I can't backlane against it, but I can pull creeps without worrying that I'm gonna get stunned.
Okay.
Right, so I can pull creeps, and like, there's no stun that's gonna be coming if he's level 1, so I'm gonna be able to freely TP out. Yeah, that is like the one small thing you have, but I agree with you, Brian. I think this hero is like really annoying.
Yeah.
He just does so much damage.
How do you guys feel about the new bans?
I was just about to comment. I'm like, why are there 4 bans?
Yeah.
I kind of like it, but I don't know.
It's new, right? So it's tough.
I initially, when I heard it, I was like, well, doesn't like, for me it was like, isn't there less complexity in the later end of the draft? But then, I thought about it a little bit longer, and I was like, well, ultimately it's like the draft is most interesting if there is more diversity and like throughout the draft overall, in which case I think the bans being more front-loaded adds to that, right? Because like the heroes that you see in the what was the old 4-5 bans, right, those were not your first pick hero. Like, those weren't heroes that necessarily with a lot of priority. So now that there's more of those heroes out in the pool, I actually do enjoy that.
I think it adds a lot more foresight required going into the game plan, because you did have 2 bans to protect you from getting, 8th pick, 9th pick, cheesed, and now you don't. So technically, later round bans, you have 4 instead of 6, right? As opposed to prior to the patch, to protect yourself against the cheese. So now you kind of have to block pick the cheese.
So do you think that's a buff to first pick then? Because you do have that 9th.
I thought
sorry, 8th.
So what I thought it did was it made the slot for first pick where Centaur is, I thought it made that pick weaker, because a lot of teams would protect it with 2 bans. They'd pick Morphling and then ban, AA Puck or something.
Sure.
And then it made the next pick for second pick worse, because you do like 2 bans and then pick, right? You'd like prepare for this pick right here. So, and I think that made like the first pick changed their strategy while it weakened second pick. So I do think it buffed first pick overall, because heroes like Centaur aren't heroes you need to protect and bans. You kind of, they just fill the, like, it goes well with Shadow Demon, gives you team fight, you know, it's going to
5
do its job in the
seconds
game.
remaining.
So I think it's going to mainly be that we see less Morphling type heroes in the first round because you can't protect them anymore, or it's going to be like really telegraphed based on the first round bans.
So supports and offlaners need to get more used to their heroes being picked up
Yeah,
first 3.
yeah, and more so than ever.
We're going to try and protect our 1s and 2s more by putting them later in the draft, since
You can't
we can no
protect them
longer
with pick. You can't
Yeah.
protect them with bans. I mean, right? So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lycan ban though, even despite the 6 base damage nerf, that was a lot. I was surprised that. How did they come up with these numbers? Usually it's like 2 or 3.
10 seconds
And Lycan
remaining.
just hit him with the 6.
I mean, did you see him in pubs? That hero
He had a
could not lose.
What was it, like
63.
60%?
It was
63%?
63% win rate for
Is Necrobook buff
Divine
really
buff or
enough?
Immortal buff.
Did they buff anything on him other than the Necrobook going into the patch?
Like for 725.
Yeah, did they buff anything, or did he just benefit so much from the meta items that he was broken all of a
I think
sudden?
it was mostly meta items.
Okay, because that's a hero we saw very rarely at all. 7.24.
And now
It's pretty crazy.
Every game,
Yeah, it's pretty
literally
crazy.
every game, it feels
Pretty-
like.
So these are 2 heroes that we talked about. I actually I played a scrim today with Blitz. We played a scrim against some NA Dota boys, and we talked about Grimstroke a little bit. I think we first picked Grimstroke or something really early, and
10 seconds
funny enough, this hero has a really low pub win rate, but is
5
held
seconds
pretty
remaining.
highly when it comes to competitive scene. I mean, we saw it come out a lot at the summit, right? It was just like, it wasn't really seen before that, and all of a sudden there was a fair amount being picked at the summit, and we've continued to see it a decent amount since then. And then Pango, I think Pango just was always good, and is now just made better in light of some of the meta things. Like he's just a good team fight hero. I think a lot more people are adopting the team fight build of Pango rather than the damage build. That one was really held on to by Ice.
Yeah, it
Right?
was.
Everyone else was going damage builds, and Ice like refused to move.
I'm an
that, like,
offlaner.
Vlad's
Go with the
build.
offlane items,
Yeah.
yeah. And it makes sense, right? Because as we talked about, games are fast right now. And when's Pango the strongest at that time? Like, if there isn't a late game anymore, Pango, he loves it.
Yeah, he just gets a lot out of every item because of the way Shield Crash works, the fact that he has a built-in BKB with his ult, the fact that he has mobility with Swashbuckle. I thought Pangolier felt really strong this patch as well. I think because his main issue was sustain the entire time, like he had to buy mana and health sustain items,
lot.
that all of those buffs to those regen items just make heroes like him that really needed that extra bit of regen just so much better. It's not anything more than, obviously they didn't buff him, they even nerfed Javelin, which was a pretty common item for...
And Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, all of his damage items have been nerfed, so for people wondering how has the meta item buffs been good for Pangolier, it's actually just the regen factor. I think that's really a game changer for him. And Ricky, kind of surprised to see against Centaur, to be honest, because in the mid game, you know, you kill people with Diffusal, but as long as the person you're going on is not Centaur, he can be saved by the Centaur Stampedes. So a bit perplexing there, but maybe we'll see, you know, the Battle Fury heavy farming
5
Ricky
seconds
as
remaining.
opposed to the Diffusal.
I will say I played Centaur the other day against. It was like it was Lycan.
Radiant team
I was a high regen hero, right? Lycan, of course. And I was like, I got a lot of stacks early over the bounty rune fight, and I was like, I'm just gonna test this out. Let me see if I can somehow hit this Lycan out
Enough
of lane,
times,
even
yeah.
just a little bit. It wasn't close.
Impossible.
I mean, he has like because your support's gonna come in with Ring of Headdress. You naturally with your strength
10
have like 4
seconds
regen.
remaining.
Then you get your passive. That's another 2 regen. So you have like 8 regen at the
5
start of the
seconds
lane. I'm just like hitting this guy over
rings
and
of
over and
health,
over again. It just doesn't work. And I think similar thing with Ricky here, who has base.
I think it's about 5 or 6.
It used to be 5 unless it got buffed.
It's
And
5 or
straight up
6,
5.
yeah.
And you're gonna have a headdress, right?
Yeah.
So 7,
And a
8
chin.
regen.
So I'm saying,
Oh yeah,
so it's
you're
more
not-
like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
That's
normally
nuts.
I would think like, oh, that matchup's like just like I think Centaur can hit that hero a lot. Well, just yesterday I realized you can't.
My first experience with the patch was Legion against Spectre Chin, And I swear to you, I spent the entire lane hitting that Spectre, and he was 80% health or more the entire lane. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I look at it, he has 11 health regen without a tango.
All your experience as a safe laner is telling you like that off laner is just gonna right click me and my lane's gonna be bad. But like the current meta of Dota, just nope.
I think kill heroes go way up in value because of it, and I think that's why even Shadow Fiend could be good. I think Grimstroke's a really nice kill support. Inkswell, one of the best early game kill spells in the game for sure. Pangolier is a hero that actually does threaten to kill you if you get half her health or lower, just because of the immense amount of burst, and he doesn't really die anymore. It's pretty crazy how this regen change can affect what heroes are good and what heroes are just no longer good. I think the thing about Centaur is he does really like the regen changes, not because it obviously benefits him when he's harassing, but it benefits him when he's just farming. Heroes that just chill and farm a bit.
It's funny when the headdress changed. I'm pretty sure everyone said it was a nerf, right? Because you lost the 3 stats, you didn't buy the thing, but you gained the 0.5 AoE regen. And now that we see this patch, right, everyone's like, oh no, that was a buff. But you look at day 1, nah, that's not what people are saying.
Yes, nerf to core.
No
we
more
used to be able to buy
headdress. Yeah.
It was fine. Now our supports are forced to do it for us.
And you're even happier because now you get 0.5 extra regen. And that's a last pick Meepo.
Started off spicy.
And is it a good Meepo game? Straight up, that feels like that's what this game is.
Their AoEs, other than SF's, pretty long cooldown, so...
Yeah. You do have the fear from SF ulti now, is that... But you just get on top of him, right?
Yeah. I like the fact that net gives them the Centaur ulti counter. They don't really have any way to deal with the net from Meepo. None of the heroes can... I mean, other than SF defensively ulting, any hero that gets net, it's pretty much going to die.
Scary.
Yeah, it just comes down to the lane matchup mid. I'm not 100% sure how Meepo will do. I guess he's just probably going to jungle, right? He's just going to get level 3 and leave against SF.
Most part, I assume, yeah. Have someone sit mid.
I like the Meepo pick, though. I think this is a good spicy start for Adroit, and if Meepo hits the timings with Roche and everything, it's going to be hard to kill him twice.
You agree, Cap?
I always am really fearful for Void when he's playing against Meepo, right? That's a very hard matchup a lot of times. So I think Adroit have definitely put themselves in a great position, and I'm hoping my boy Bocarino goes off.
Yep, we'll see if they can. We are going to toss it over the casters for game 1 of Adroit vs Geek Fam. It's gonna be Dakota and Blitz.
Wow, thank you so much, Grant. Blessed to have you as a host throwing this way.
Prepare for battle.
You die. You should have known your failure lives on.
Thirty seconds to battle. The battle begins.
Were you watching? That's how it's done.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's structures are fortified.
Denied. First words of my life fade from memory.
Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Windows of the king never.
All pick.
When it comes to net worth, like handily too. He's up by like 200-300 gold, and that lead just continues to grow as he gets more meepos up. He's gonna farm even faster, get even more stacks, get into the jungle even deeper, and then at some point he gets E-Blade and just kills everybody. Because Face Void can't really do anything. Your only escape against meepo is to chrono and run out. That's really it. Like, you have to wait for the nets to be over. You can't time walk out. So that means without BKB or chrono up, you're pretty much a sitting duck. And in this game especially, you don't want to use chrono defensively at all.
So does that add pressure on GEEK FAM? Is certainly the support staff to do something to this meepo? You know, just kind of at least get some vision down, scout him out, stop him before he's able to kind of lay down this immense amount of farm and economy game. It looks like on that queue we do see Shadow Demon and Shadow Fiend rolling through, scouting out exactly where the hell is this meepo, what is he doing, and let's see if we can take away some gold from him.
They 100% have to do this. Yeah. I think my least favorite thing, especially in pub games, you see this meepo farming, and you're just like, okay, he's gonna AFK farm, what are we gonna do about it? Supports, you have to make some sort of play, because the game is no longer your standard Dota game where your mid-hero gets a lot, their mid-hero gets a lot, that's fine. Because meepo is the win condition for most games. Like, once it's a meepo game, it's like, all right, that's the centerpiece of the draft. But instead, it's going to go the other way around. Is Adroit's going to bring in Boomy. Yep. Meepo's going to try to find the angle too. Pango's here as well.
Rolls right through him after popping the wand. The clockwork nice. Really going to be fine. He makes it to the high ground with the help of the Centaur Stampede. That Shadow Fiend is gone. Shadow Demon is going to be the one left behind, but certainly happy.
Oh no, I think he pushed him out.
Soon, he's bumped out in a way. He turns the corner. Oh, Shadow Fiend comes over and hits him with a raise to the face.
Boomy, what are you doing? Wow. Oh, that wasn't pretty.
Radiant's top tower.
I think he also dodged a net, by the way, with the new illusion rune.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. It's like a mini manta.
Yeah.
You have a mini manta in your bottle.
That was sick.
Oh, illusion rune used to be just such low stock unless you were like some early axe or something. Yes. But now, wow, it's a playmaking rune.
It was one of the most like meh runes that you could get. Like, you didn't really like it aggressively. Defensively, it was whatever. There are some heroes that I really liked it on, like when I got to play like Viper, for example. And late game, it's really nice.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you can push out all the waves, but in the early game, for the most part, you were just like kind of disappointed. It was a free bottle charge. That's really what it represented.
I'm ready for the first big convenient play where they go for the rune, it spawns, it's illusion, they pick it up, and it's a convenient like manta dodge to save his life.
That'd be so sick.
It's gonna happen at some point for damn sure.
And Bob's gonna go for it, although I'm not really sure what he's...
He pulled the trigger, but he didn't feel great. He shot in the air real quick, and he's like, warning shot on that one. But that doesn't mean Rolling Thunder is going to be on cooldown, and immediately the smoke comes out from the fam of geeks, and they head right to the high ground on the other side. They might even be able to cut him off. They're looking for Pango on the way out, maybe.
They're waiting for him to come for the bounty rune. This is actually a really smart play by GEEK FAM.
Outpost time, too.
Yeah, this is really well done by them if they get the kill here, but...
He makes it to the low ground.
They need Raven for this.
No, they're just going to commit the chrono to secure. They don't have enough DPS, though.
He's got 9 charges. He's perfectly fine. Their lineup actually has real big damage issues, by the way.
Yeah. Without nuking power coming out from those supports, you have nothing to offer until you have the economy to build up these items. So, well, you know, you got your ult, I'll take mine. No one really is going to have any bloodshed here, and the game goes on.
You need normally you have with this combo like a Lich or a Skywrath Mage or something like that as the immediate TP by the Chen. Carl was thinking about it, but won't get it off in time.
Oh, they're going to go for Centaur bottom lane. Nice hook shot set up there from Boomy. Centaur trying to chop his way out, able to get it, but Mac is right there. Drops him. Big pickup for them at Android's 3rd kill of the game.
Yeah, now this game is... Once Meepo gets his E-Blade, like he's going to probably start looking for the Faceless Void. And if I'm Void, my timing has to be quick. Like I'm going... like he's going Maelstrom, I think that's fine. I see a lot of people start going back for like the Battle Furies now, but I think Maelstrom and then just immediate BKB. Like you have to be able to fight against the Meepo early. And if you can delay his timing, you win like the first 2 fights against him, you're suddenly in a much better position.
What are the thoughts about Meepo with the new Boots of Travel? I haven't heard anyone mention about it because, you know, Boots of Travel obviously no longer has the active.
Yeah.
So they can't just spam poof. And also with Tinker, that totally changes his whole game.
I think the only hero that actually gets it nowadays is like Tinker. I don't know. I don't love the new travels. I feel like they're super underwhelming. Because before, the best part about travels by far was the ability to like, you push out a lave, you go back to your base, and then you could just like rinse and repeat that, and you are your own mini Tinker in that regard. Yeah. And also like you stop all split push, but now like you sort of still have to go against like a lot of split push, but it just feels a lot more underwhelming.
Hook shot.
Oh look, like was just dead. You can't do anything.
Dang.
This is the hardest. If you're playing Faceless Void or Anti-Mage against Meepo, your life just feels terrible.
Charges out bottom lane. You're going to take one of ours. We're going to try to get one of yours. They make their move for Ricky. There's the dust. And he's really making him work for it.
Oh, he's going to get a kill.
Oh, he gets one.
Aizo!
Wow.
Can you imagine if he missed up there? If he misses off the smoke cloud, he might actually live there, and they're going to try going on the Shadow Fiend. They do have vision of him. He's going to get bounced out once. They don't quite know where he is, and there's no dust. And
no, there's not.
Thought about popping the ulti.
One is they were actually nervous about the Requiem, or they just figured they didn't have the vision. We're going to move on from here. Either way, Shadow Fiend going to be fine. Moves his right, he walks lane. Woo! Fires it off. Half his life going to be decimated. Hits him with the raise. Needs a bit more. Can't quite catch up. And the space is going to be created.
There's a rock, and E-Blade's going to hit, but he's just going to sit Shadow Bladed in mid.
They get forced back. Dang. But yeah, struggle right now for Geek Fam. Ult's back online now for the Faceless Void. They want to try to make something out of it. Mentioned the Maelstrom, which he is going for a hook shot there. Bombi looking to set things up so the rest of the team can catch, but Rimstroke's an easy pick. Uh-oh, Meepo looks like he's spotted. Shadow even gets a double net. Self-disruption. Centaur's not left. Gets the stomp off, heads up the other side, but with Ricky there, able to get it done. Raven steps in, drops down the chrono. They're looking to burst fire at least one. Meepo, hand of God's there. Nice. Not enough, though. They finally bring down the big piggy bank of Meepo. It costs them Cuckoo, and they quickly make a hasty retreat, but Boomy and Mac on the chase here.
Ooh, they didn't do the combo. What you need to do is you cogs in the Void, and then you smoke screen on top of them, and that's a kill. But really nice for Geek Fam. They needed something like that. They had to slow down the Meepo using the Chronosphere there. I mean, if you look at the net worth alone, 1k behind from the Shadow Fiend. And he's been farming really well. He hasn't died this game. It's just the nature of the hero. Like, Meepo's gonna out-farm you. He's mini Alchemist in that regard.
Yeah. Shadow Fiend is grinding away as much as he can. He's got the Shadow Blade and then a BKB on cue next. Bottled Illusion, so Pseudo Manta ready to go just in case. But obviously, Geek Fam need a bit of a cooldown phase. Android know that, so they take their opportune moment to move into the Road Pit and get started.
Yeah, they've got a flash.
Oh, mid lane. Disruption. Beautiful setup right there, and they blast down the Clockwork. Mac's also been spotted, but, you know, maybe just more of a diversion. Because Android...
Oh, they know. They know.
How spotted with the curve. Oh, it's not even close to dead. No, they got to get over there. Geek Fam on the way. Uh-oh. Stampede, they missed.
Shot missed. So they're not moving anyways. Let's see if they get down. Centaur right at the front porch of the Roach Pit, getting shoveled down from Meepo and can't make it out. Finally blasted apart. Meepo goes right back to business inside the Roach Pit to get it finished. And Geek Fam can't do anything of it. They knew it was happening. They tried to make an approach, but...
That was not my favorite Stampede that I've ever seen. Like, he had nobody else behind him. That was so ambitious by Cuckoo, who just got way ahead of himself. Like, thought that the rest of his team was going to connect a lot sooner.
I don't know, maybe they're
Able to
expecting
do so.
Android to be a bit more of a disarray, like, oh no, we lost a couple of our allies in the mid lane. We better second guess our commitments, but they were not second guessing commitments. They were in all the way.
I think, wait, does he realize? I think no, he's got to realize.
What?
He left the neutral item behind, and he's not sure where it is.
Where?
Okay, he got it. He had it at top. The Meepo, he had sent his illusions to farm, and he wasn't sure where the clumsy net was. That item, by the way, owns. It's like 2 mana regen.
Cuckoo just picked up one of his own, too.
Yeah, 2 mana regen is really nice.
Dire's top tower is under
What is the current, like, hot neutral item? There have been a couple of
Let me load
tweaks
him
of
up.
it, but at least in the early part of the game, where we could possibly stand now, I know Roach had been considered a very popular item for quite a bit. I'm still learning a lot of these neutral items myself. This is very new-gen Dota.
Tier 1 items. Let's see. I don't hate Iron Talent anymore. Like, the ability to do Ancients is kind of nice for a lot of heroes. When it comes to like the tier 2 items, you're not really sad about like picking up mid lane, Aquila and stuff like that. I think Essence Ring is really nice.
Some trouble potentially for Centaur, but Meepo's actually not able to chunk him down. They'll have to settle for Whitemon instead. But they suffer no retaliations there. And neutral items are now flying out that the discussions come up with Dragon Scale.
I'm whatever about that item.
I know they did raise the drop rate essentially for the first couple of tiers of items, so you'll be seeing them a bit more frequently.
I actually think I dislike, speaking of good items, like bad items, they found Shadow Fiend. He's just
That's a great find right there. It's Bo3 to kind of move in and get it set up. Cogs are going to be dropped, and there's nowhere for Shadow Fiend to run. Bursts it apart. It's Natsumi who picks it.
They should go high ground. I think you actually just go high ground here. You're so strong.
Yeah, this is a power peak for you, if you will.
If you're a Adroit, I wouldn't be worried about anything. Just keep going.
Jump in. Grimstroke should be an easy pick. And the net is there to catch Centaur. He tries to stampede, but he's totally locked in place. Disruption there to help bail him out. Hand to God.
That was weird.
Natsumi a little low here.
It bounced Whitemon out. That was odd. I think he hit his way out and then, oh, they lose the Aegis.
This is very awkward.
Yeah, this is not... They used Hand of God, too. I think they just want to get out now. That was a really awkward attempt. I think they should have just gone for the tier 2, but a little bit sloppy.
And they didn't even get the tier 2 for their troubles. That's going to be a bit of a morale boost here for Geek Fam. They have ults online now. Android are a bit withered from their previous skirmish, so let's see if Geek Fam kind of take it to them. They're drawing it out on the map. Push out the mid lane, and let's follow through the Android jungle and see what we can catch. Max currently at the bottom, and they are beelining it down right now. Raven leading out the charge, but Mac is already stepped away. They don't even have any vision over there. Lots of Geek Fam wards all through the southern half of this map.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they just found a Grove Bow. Like, who really wants that item? I guess you could give it to your Chen, but even then, like, I think I would prefer him to have something else. Like, if I'm Chen, I would could have, I don't know, even like Vampire Fangs for like the 250 night vision might be better.
Yeah, the Grove Bow's like attack range. Right?
Yeah, plus 15 attack speed, and then you get you reduce magic armor by like 12% or something, or like your attack steal 12%.
Unfortunately, no one on their team really seems to have a calling for that item.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Meepo with those like poofs, but you have a lot of physical damage.
So is there a point when Geek Fam can kind of just out-muscle Android? I mean, the Meepo can rise and then potentially fall. Could we see a late-game resurgence of the Raven Faceless Void once the items begin to all come together?
Yeah, I think once you get BKBs, I think once you grab a lot of your BKBs, you're going to be feeling pretty good. But Raven is opting to go for more damage. I think that one fight, you know, where he caught the Pango and he's like, I actually don't kill anybody. I need to pump out more damage. Right now, I like how he's thinking. He's thinking like, we want to jump them. We don't want them to jump us. I don't want to have to use BKB or Chrono defensively. So might as well just all in for an offensive item, make sure that we kill this Meepo during the Chrono, because that's the only way they're going to win the game anyways.
GEEK FAM take their business all the way now towards the northern half of the map after just providing a lot of vision towards the other side. They will see Adroit's movement through the mid lane here. I'm curious to see how they could possibly converge. Just past the outpost time. You see they reclaim the northern one.
I'll say if they're within like 10k at like 35 minutes, I could see them winning this game pretty handily.
Yeah.
But the timing is always going to be strong for this Meepo for the time being. Like he's until Void gets a BKB, he's still going to be really strong. And it just takes one fight from their lineup to end the game.
BKB season's almost here, but will a fight come out early? Ruby moves in, gets the setup for Raven. Raven.
This is an awkward fight.
Backs out in a way. Bach moving in with the Rolling Thunder and then is able to pull himself out from the trouble.
This is, I'm not sure what that was. Like they hookshot it onto Raven, but they didn't really attempt to kill him because they knew that the Shadow Demon Disrupt was going to be there. Yeah. So that Ricky didn't want to commit because he didn't want to just get stuck in a position where he could get chronoed. So everyone just sort of reverse position.
Maybe trying to bait out some spells from GEEK FAM defensively and relying on the shorter cooldown of the hook shot, but whatever the case may be, GEEK FAM were not biting. Just shrugged that attempt off and have pushed themselves now past the river. And Adroit will have to look for another opening if that's what they're seeking. For now, just kind of reclaiming the farm back through the top half of the map, and each team will go their separate ways. But you know, as time goes on, I'm not seeing Adroit's farm push, you know, much further past GEEK FAM. So they're playing against the clock. They'll get the tier 2 top lane. It helps things a bit, and now they can add simultaneous pressure, maybe bouncing between the mid and top lanes in an attempt to draw GEEK FAM back home.
There's a BKB on SF now. You are witnessing one of the big flaws of their lineup on Adroit is that they don't have really easy ways to initiate, aside from like clock hook. You can see that this Bach Pangolier just tries to like roll in from the back line, but he's not really catching anybody. And two of their cores don't really come with like built-in stuns. They have this like diffusal combo, which sort of works, and Mac might get a kill here.
Yeah, it's a cute little grab for Grimstroke.
And Zephyr actually doesn't use his disruption to save the Grimstroke, and that might actually just cost 2 lives. He's finally going to use it for the Centaur. Here comes the SF ult.
Damage way more than done. Raven looking to go in now. Gets a big chrono, but is the damage going to be there to go for the finish? Is able to secure the takedown of Meepo. Is that going to be enough for him, though? Clock drops down the cogs, locks in the two of them, and now they fire from the outside and finish them both off. It's still going to be Adroit's fight, even though they lost the Meepo.
That was a really nice chrono. He wasn't able to get anything off from Chen because he was caught in it too. But still, it just cost them so much to kill that Meepo.
And it's not like they're going to get anything from the follow-up. It's Adroit pushing it through this mid lane now.
This is going to be tier 2 tower, and I think Roche is about to respawn. If you're GEEK FAM, again, you have to wait on the chrono. So if you're unlucky with this Roshan, which they will be, it'll respawn in 2, 1. It'll be up, and there's still 2 minutes and a half on the chrono. You don't have your Requiem either. It's just a weird position to be in, and in fact, they've caught the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, on the other side, Ruby's also moved in.
Both are dead. This
catch.
is pretty close to the base too. They don't quite have the creep wave, but
back for Roche.
Yeah,
to the high ground. What do you want to do? There's no chrono.
I would be kind of down for Roche, honestly.
All right, all right. I mean, they haven't really committed either way yet. They're still flirting around this mid lane. They still have some pressure coming top. We'll see what pulls back at this point. Shadow Fiend looking to, you know, scout what's happening here.
I think that Roche is always just a safe play.
Yeah. Certainly will make your follow fight that much easier. But they don't seem hard committed to go really one way or the other at the moment. Blitz. They're about to. Little Golem's gonna see what's going on. Hey, what's happening here?
He's gonna poke his head in.
Roche is here, boys.
Yeah. I don't think a support kill is necessarily good enough for them to immediately go high ground. I think they ideally want to grab like one more core if they can.
Yeah, but Android, can they make a significant fight happen before this Faceless Void gets that BKB finish too? That's going to be a
I don't think
nice pickup.
I don't think they thought of the early spawn, is one thing. They probably didn't think it was going to spawn that quickly, and so they might have just wasted the timing that they had. They had like a full minute to go for that Roche.
And now it's certainly too late. Look at Geek Fam. They have smoked up and they are going cross country now to see what is shaking up on this half of the river. See the illusion, not taking the bait there.
Yeah, and this is going to be the smoke popped. I mean, as soon as the courier flies in, they have to know they're going to contest this. So this smoke is just about positioning, trying to like regain it.
Hook shot in. They catch out Carl.
That's the BKB. Both supports in the back.
And it's the Rolling Thunder locks down both supports and takes them out immediately. This is devastating for Geek Fam. They're going to have to dish out the Requiem now and jumping from Raven, looking to try to mend this battle as best as possible. The hand of God. Everyone coming out. It's CML, the paramedic on the back lines, assisting the Meepo and keeping him alive and well. Geek Fam seem to be crumbling here. Can they manage to get anyone down? Finally, they'll finish off the Ricky, but it is Natsumi Queen's house. Double kill for him, and they keep fighting forward. Makes it a triple. Shadow Fiend out. There is buybacks available. Look at that range. This could be the beginning of the end. Nice grab there from Bach, and that Shadow Demon down.
Now you can take a Rex.
Oh, yeah.
I think this might actually be 2 sets. And they can still get Roshan off this too.
So possibly have to expend the buybacks here if a second set is going to be threatened. But right now, Android feel like there's no reason why they can't just kind of keep this party going. North, looks like it.
This Meepo is so tanky. He's got E-Blade, still kept his circlets, treads, he's got a heart.
Freaking Vamp Race even.
Yeah, and on top of that, he's got the Chen, he's got 2 different Chen heals, he's got Vlad's. I mean, this guy is insanely stacked right now. He's gonna get teleported into the Roche pit. The Shadow Demon will know that it's happening, but with no Chronos here. I mean, if you weren't winning with a Chrono there, you probably aren't taking this fight, and you have to go into retreat.
Yeah, you need to be able to catch out the Chen, take him out of commission, because obviously he's providing these heroes with second, third lives, as it seems, as we check out the replay there. Chrono's there, but look at Chen.
Yeah.
He's just there, and he's like, do what you can, but I'm just going to power through all of the healing I can. And at that point, there was no more firepower for Geek Fam to get the job done.
I think the supports on Geek Fam messed up their positioning. They're
so
way too far forward.
Yeah.
That was like the freest initiation. It was like, okay, well, I guess we have an immediate 3-on-5.
I mean, it felt very panicky because it's a clockwork who got the catch onto the Shadow Fiend as he does the same here.
All that does is like reveal that they have a ward.
And, you know, the support staff were just like rushing in like, we must be there to help. Fortunately, it was Pango, Bach, who got beautiful roll in and caught those supports, took them out before they could offer any sort of defense. And now it seems like it's all Android here with 23k of a net worth advantage at this point.
They're going to look for Shadow Fiend.
He's just trying to split waves, draw out the clock. But it's a manhunt now.
I like it. I think he's doing pretty much everything he can at this point.
Yeah.
And, oh, he's dead.
And he's been spotted.
Oh, maybe he's going to be okay.
Find a way out of this one. Still has the BKB. You don't want to ideally be using it here, but he's got to if he wants to find a way out.
Oh, the sun!
That's a bash of Pango. Damn.
That's rough.
They're throwing the nickels at him and everything. But, you know, what did it create? A little bit of space for Geek Fam to pressure out the top lane a bit and the mid lane a bit. But, you know, Android already has their crosshairs set on this bottom lane where there's still a free tier 1 to pick up a tier 2 shortly thereafter.
I like that phrase a lot.
Which one?
He threw nickels at him.
The tips.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, here we go. Mid lane. Back.
You're dead.
No, yeah, Centaur's not even looking like a big siege tank at this point.
So this was a nice Meepo game. We got to see what Meepo does.
Geek Fam now remembering, okay, yeah, Meepo's a thing. Meepo's a thing. We gotta, you know, consider that in
You're
the
just shaking off the cobwebs.
Yeah,
it's just like everyone, it's like a rite of passage. Just like, okay, we got Meepo'd. That happens.
They did play each other just like the other day in a full 5-game series. I'm sure they're scrim partners.
Oh,
so,
Raven's
you
dead.
know, Geek Fan probably just unfortunately let that one slide through. It's just a first game. There we see that it's non-stop. Raven goes down, like, okay, without Raven, there's nothing we can do for damn sure. And it's certainly going to be game one for Android. Damn. So we got Geek Fan's number. Okay, so how much do we weigh this on that final pick, Meepo?
I think before that, I didn't like their draft.
To agree with your sentiment. If he doesn't get to that point, then Wizard is going to be able to control him and take him out anyway with the dunk. So I don't know who to say has the better draft in this game, because both of them look really good. I think it's going to be more so based on who can win out these lanes and just outplay their opponent.
I think when it comes down to the lane phase, I do prefer newbie as well. Like, you have the Phoenix, you have the Clock, you've got the Razor Axe. Any dual lane coming out here is just going to be really hard to deal with. eHome, sure, they've got that Oracle plus Morris, Oracle and Troll, which is pretty decent in pumping out Harass and Sustain. The biggest question on my mind is the Mirana. Are you going to get the value from that Mirana? Are you going to be landing those arrows on the enemy to slow down their farm, to apply that pressure? Or are you just going to sit there and soak some EXP with the arrow? Like, that's what we tend to see. They go for the safe play. They get the big creep, they get the range creep with their arrow, and just soak that way. And I don't think that's going to be enough to counteract the aggression that Eon has with the early game lineup. It's just not going to be enough if you're just going to be soaking there, while Clockwork Phoenix just wreak havoc on the map.
I tend to agree with what you're saying. The only concern I do have for newbie is that mid matchup. I think AQ is going to have a very, very hard time. He doesn't though. Maybe AQ's got something up his sleeve.
No, I reckon it's gonna be a rough lane AQ no matter what. If you wanted to relieve that pressure, you'd actually just maybe toss the Razor up and try to give the Storm a side lane and try to get that way, because no matter what, it's just gonna be rough.
You just had a look at those odds on screen, and it has evened out quite a bit.
Ooh, nice
arrow is going to connect. That's the first arrow of the game, and it does last a long time into the sphere, and that's going to be the first blood coming out. Sin Q will be the one to pick it up on the side of eHome. And well, that's a great start.
Yeah, it was the Fortune's end to set up, and if eHome can maintain that aggression with their supports, I think you can get a lot going for yourselves. Like, eHome do have ways of dealing with that early rush, and newbie definitely want to be the aggressors here. They want to get that early start going for themselves. They want to get their Razor online. They want to get level 6 on their feet fast and overtaking the game. If eHome can match that aggression, it's going to be hard for newbie to lever advantage in this game, and that might be enough for eHome to really just get ahead. Again, you have to look at that mid lane. Can AQ survive long enough, or is he going to lose out too much to this Husker? And if he does lose out to the Husker, which seems very likely, newbie has to win their side lanes hard.
In this last game as well, where they had nothing to say on the laner who had the clear lane advantage, and just a couple rotations made it so AQ could just catch up and take over the lane. I wonder if newbie can replicate that performance. It's not going to be as easy, and I think eHome will be very ready for it this time around. And it's a Husker. He's already got the level 1 Berserker's Blood, so he's got that inbuilt heal already active for himself. AQ.
Denied.
It's going to be hard, especially once you hit level 2 on nothing to say. He's going to have fire spears up, and suddenly you're going to be on fire constantly, and that's when things get a bit more challenging in Storm.
Definitely. It does look like AQ is leveraging this early start quite nicely, though. He has level advantage right now, so it's going to be a while until nothing can pump it back in. Has burn through 1 Tango, but again, with that added regen, he's going to be fine. Has the burning spears up, so level 2's up and running for that mid lane. Should be able to trade nicely though up top. Why?
Yeah, he'll burn out to the fire spirits of YG. Now Sylar going to also burn quite low. I don't think the Icarus dive damage is going to be enough. The YG again on this Phoenix just already putting so much pressure at this top lane.
Yeah, that's a solo pickup for the most part as well. You saw Wizard all the way back at that tier 1, getting his own creeps up and farming that out. So, while he having a lot of impact on his Phoenix, you really have to be careful. They can't afford to lose out in these lanes. Even with that lane thing well, you know, you have to slow down this aggression and the XP gain that he wants to leverage.
Oh boy. Vortex mid lane, this is what we talked about, nothing to say. It's YG again on this Phoenix. Just level 2, doesn't even have the level 2 fire spirits yet, but doesn't care. AQ with the early Vortex, they pick up the kill. And I thought eHome would be better prepared for that kind of rotation. Apparently not yet.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Like, you rotate SimQ out to apply some pressure for his own. He does have the arrow, he is dropping AQ fairly low, but he's copying a lot in return as well and misses the arrow. So, when you have trades like this coming out from eHome with the Milan, just one with another support and have done a better job.
Arguably so. I'd probably say yes. The only time I'll tell is AQ again. Gonna just jump on the Mirana, sing Q. Beating a kill away now to the Storm as he tries to leap away, but that last hit, the overload was enough, and AQ really giving it to them. As he finds his first kill of the game. So 1 kill, 1 assist, no deaths on this Storm. Sure, he does have to run back to the fountain, but man, he's got a great start. He's going to be able to pick up his bottle soon, or his brown boots, whichever he prefers. This is not what you want with your eHome, their top lane. Even Zax, they're trying to control him up. Wizard, he's starting to get low. But with that ring of Karask, he's been surviving long enough. Can he get away? He's still healing, but SimQ does finally have the damage. It looked pretty close. That's a concern.
Definitely is. Like, they are committing a lot of resources around them, right? You have to constantly have Mirana with that Oracle to get the setup, find these kills. But it can't be everywhere in the map at the same time. You know, you're gonna be copying weaker lanes in this case, and that is gonna be pretty beyond right now.
Yeah, Faith battery assault gonna be there. Faith beyond. Not survive, and that was only level 1 battery assault, but that mini stun with the Razor follow-up going to be more than enough. But now SimQ will rotate over and definitely wanted to go for some kind of kill on the Razor, but never mind that. Mid lane, AQ again going to find nothing to say thanks to the rotation of YG, and why he'll be slowly but surely chased down, but I don't think you get out of this one. Vortex does connect, and he tries to fairy fire, but is it going to really do him any good? Probably not. YG, it's literally a repeat. YG's got a killing spree again, sub 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's 6-3 now. 1k advantage, less than 1k advantage for newbie, but they are getting that aggression out. We talked about this from the draft. The lineup from newbie just comes online and snap, and eHome, they can do that, but they need to stick their supports together. Whereas newbie, they could just rotate separately and find so much more in these side lanes, so much more in the mid lane. AQ, we were talking about the Husker having an advantage here. It's not working out that way when the rotations from newbie are just this effective.
Spear from Faith beyond bot lane. He didn't find Faith. They will happily walk out on the clock. Still sitting at level 2, but still being just as effective as he was level 3. Mugi on the Razor. He's just been freaking farming. No pressure whatsoever. Even up that top lane, like Tyler, he's doing a pretty good job on the troll. I don't know, it still concerns me a little bit more when the Razor's free. Oh yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Faith beyond. Battery assault just ticking away. It's still a level 1 battery assault, but it gives Mugi time to come in. Still spear will at least knock Mugi away. Faith arrow is going to connect. They could go for this. Mugi threatening with his own presence. He doesn't even have static link yet, but he will in a moment, and Faith beyond with the spear from a mile away, just barely landing. But now with Mugi chasing, it looks like he cannot sustain, and now Mugi looks to turn around on the supports. Why? Probably can't get out of this, or maybe he can, but Plasma Field is definitely going to slow him down a little bit. He'll purge it off with the Fortune's End. Why? Is he really going to just chase down the T1? He does get arrowed, and that should be enough to force Mugi back. But you lost your Mars for the sake of killing off a Clockwork. He almost took down 2 spots on top of that.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Like, they even have to rotate it beyond and do find Phoenix.
YG getting jumped on. Sam's going to be there on the stop. They got the Vortex off. Now with the Cogs, is it enough? They had the Fate's Edict on the Husker, but doesn't block off enough damage. And now Y getting low again. SyncQ, you got to run. Just leap away. It's not safe. Faith Beyond does get the spear up onto Faith. And Faith should die here to the arrow of SyncQ, and does. But AQ still has a double damage rune active. He doesn't have enough mana to pursue any further kills. But I believe that is the 3rd death of the Husker this game, and in fact it is. And AQ actually finds his 3rd kill through that engagement. And I just can't see how Newbie could possibly be unhappy with that.
No, definitely so. Like, Fate has had so much impact on this clock. Level 2 at that mid rotation, just jumping into tree like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And he was destructive enough. Like, so much value from this low-level clockwork doing all these plays. Although up top, Wizard in spot of trouble.
He's going to be dangerous against the call-off, but Fortune's never going to be there, and Sylar should be able to get a snare off, or maybe he can't, but he does have the slow. That'll be it. They do pick up a nice little trade there for Sylar, who is still free farming on the troll, which is great news for him. Have to see how far he can push that free farm. Faith on the clock. Around that bot lane, Noogie actually finding Faith Beyond solo on the Mars. That really is the wait, he didn't even use static blink, he just plasma field?
No.
Oh man.
I mean, he was, by the way, this Mars, just constantly trading with the plasma. There's really just not much you can do with some Mars right now, especially when you're left alone. This Murana, it hasn't really translated to much. The newbie have been poking at the holes in their graph every single time. They make sure they can't commit to a 3-man rotation. Faith
and SyncQ gonna rotate down bot. They have the Arena of Blood up, and if they could land a speed in that arena with the arrow, you could certainly confirm a kill onto Moogie. Moogie is just by his T1 tower. He's gonna be feeling very. Why now? We go for the Fortune Center onto Faith. Faith actually getting knocked out. Spear will land on the tree, but now you have this Phoenix one to get one. They'll take down Faith Beyond. And Moogie, all that extra damage now. Gonna go after White. The Sunray being pop Sylar. He's gonna join in, but I don't think this is really safe for him. He does have Battle Trance, and it looks like he's confident enough as White. Almost drops Moogie. He will come completely out of mana, and now the arrow does connect those things. Almost going down the face, can't finish shot with Sylar. Trying to go after this Razor. Pops the Battle Trance, but Moogie is out, and he looks like he's going to turn this. He has Plasma Field and Static Link. Sylar going to be chased. Plasma Field does land.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just playing this perfectly. They are playing eHome like a fiddle right now. Look at YG. What? What? He's going to burn out of that Fire Spirit damage, I think. In fact, he just makes it, but SyncQ, the Purifying Flames heal will keep him up long enough, but they are always on the edge. Every single team fight, these 2 supports on the side of each just one kick away from full. Oh, Faith!
What? Flare! Hook! It's the 2 supports that barely survived.
Top lane, Wizard finds Faith Beyond on the Mars. So
man,
a kill and then gets the hook.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't quite catch, unfortunately, because I was looking at top lane, and then Wizard ends up solo killing off the Mars.
Oh yeah, it's a rough situation for EHOME. They just lost too much momentum. They didn't even win out in that mid lane. They're forced to respond with their supports in separate lanes, which means they don't get root combination into the hour as often as you want. Found a couple of kills with it. It doesn't feel like it's been as impactful as the QB has found. And now you're at the Clockworks at level 4. You know, the support Clockwork is ahead of your off-lane Mars, Fate Beyond. The battle of the fates here, Fate Beyond, still at level 6, Fate at level 7.
Oh man, That was a level 2 clock around 8 minutes ago. Like, at 8 minutes into this game. He was just roaming the map constantly. And now he's out leveling the offlaner of the enemy. That's insane. Max battery assault up. He catches any support, they're dead. There's no chance in hell they survive this. Maybe Syncue could leap. Fortune Zen gonna fly out Fate. He's gonna be the target, but he's got Moogie there to help out. Arrow will not connect. They're gonna try and Moogie goes down the hill. They'll take down the Mars firstly. Not chasing his wizard. Gonna rotate on the action. Why? Trying to run, but why would you even bother? He does get done.
Oh my god.
You now gonna be chased. Nothing to say. On the platform. This on for a second, but the dunk not even going to be necessary. Is now YG drops the egg just in case, just to flex on him a little bit. He doesn't need the egg this game.
They just had no answer. They clocked up 4 heroes to try to find a clockwork, and it was for the most part just Moogie. Fate trapping up the Mars with the cogs, and then having Mugi's back was enough to deter 3 heroes. And then suddenly you have the Axe on top. Yeah, we see Phoenix on top of that as well. None of these rotations from Ehome paying off to us yet. At the very least, they're getting time on Styler to farm up. He is working towards his defusal. It doesn't feel like that's going to be enough just yet. He's going to need a lot more in response to what newbie has running for themselves before he can really stand up. I believe he's gonna need at least a BKB on top of everything else.
Well, you know what the beauty of all this is for newbie? Not only are they still finding all the kills on the map, but we haven't even looked for ages. He's got a Kyre up, and he just picked up his point booster. He's going straight into the Bloodstone again. This Storm is second in net worth, just completely free farming his own jungle. Now they finally smoke up with AQ. Looking towards that bot lane with Pearl, nothing to say.
What a scan.
Is sticking around. They scan out. They run into the scan at that last moment. They know Faith. He has that hookshot ready. He can catch multiple here if he wants to. Main one. Husker getting caught out with no vision. This looks bad. Nothing to say. Gonna try and fight, but they've lost way. He got the false promise off in time, but he gets stumped anyway.
Radiant team ban.
Oh, you are out technically, and look at that, right into the draft. And it will be that Geek Fam with the first pick and Radiant. And they actually, Geek Fam chose first pick when they were the Dire, so I'm sure now they'll get Radiant and first pick. They must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they had, so I'm just looking over the drafts and some of the bans from China compared to Southeast Asia, because we have the Chinese matches going on right now, Ehome versus Newbie. And,
what are some heroes?
Well, first of all, Void Spirit was not touched at all in our draft.
Yeah.
I actually did not notice that. For whatever reason, Underlord got banned, which...
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit peculiar as well.
In the first phase, too,
yeah,
right?
first phase, third ban, I think.
Meanwhile, Mars was banned both times in the Chinese series that's going on right now. And then there was still some similarities, like Bad Rider, for example. Underlord again. They just do not want to give that to Adroit.
I guess it's one of, I mean, especially in the current patch, right? You just don't want someone who can just sit at a tier 3 tower and defend forever, right? And Underlord, I mean, we saw Coddle, and I was watching a European game that's right. Coddle was the only reason a team just held their base forever. Just wave clear, right? Blitz always says it.
I think the nerf to bots, kind of like Force Staff, does buff a lot of heroes. I think heroes with innate TPs do get better, like Furion as well as Underlord. Yeah. So maybe the Underlord's something they've seen a lot from Adroit and Scrims.
Yeah.
That's something we have no idea of knowing from our perspective.
That's the thing about these leagues, which is so nice. Like, these teams know each other way more than anything else. Sure, when you go to a LAN, you know what's picking what, but here, Scrims actually do matter, like a lot.
I think what contributes to what Brian was saying about scrim information is last time they played Underlord was in We Play recently against TNC. That was 6 days ago, and they lost.
Yeah.
Then that's the only time they played Underlord recently. So obviously they had an idea. They thought it was good. Even if they lost in that series, they probably have been playing it since. And Geek Fam were probably on their seed end of that.
Wow. Do you think the Enchantress pick is because of the buff to the app?
Radiant team
A buff to the axe. Indeed.
How much do you have to buff that axe for it
Make
to
it like
be
800
800? She's just, whoa. All of a sudden she's off screen.
on a 2-second cooldown.
Some
Enchantresses are just chasing after you by turning around and striking you through your direction.
I'm telling you, the funniest clip I ever saw was Zai playing Enchantress on his stream, and he was losing miserably, but the enemy team was like diving them in their base, and he kept spranking like down and up from the high ground to low ground, like in base. So the enemy team would chase him, he'd sprung to the low ground. They'd all go to the low ground and chase him, he'd sprung back up. That was so funny, man. That ability is definitely one of the derpiest things that we'll never have the pleasure of seeing in these games. But another clockwork for Adroit. They had great success with it last game, despite not the most highest hook proficiency.
Yeah, not necessarily the best cogs at times, but yeah.
He got top of, I mean, he was versus Shadow Fiend, right? Once you get on top of him once, you've done your job, even if you miss a few hooks.
For sure.
And then Geek Family first picked the Shadow Demon. Adroit didn't have first pick, so their last ban the Chen, and they take the Enchantress. Is it, I mean, for a while Enchantress was going off lane. Do you think this is going to be the 5 Enchantress that's played like a Chen, maybe?
I refuse to believe. So last patch what happened was Enchantress would just bully you out of the lane with impetus, right? Then they nerfed it to 65 mana instead of 40 level 1, and it became really hard to bully people. And now there's a bajillion regen items. I have a hard time believing Enchantress 3 is a thing. I think if she has like support with Blightstone, you know, maybe get some early creeps, I could see that being a nice lane securing 5. But I think impetus, I have a hard time believing that it would be enough damage to out harass any of the safe lane carries right now. They go for the Lesh. What I do like about Lesh is it combos well with the Shadow Demon, the Disrupt into Split Earth, but you also have the fact that it's a hero that when it gets cogged, kind of just kills the Clockwork, and then it's also a natural way of killing the Enchantress through the Untouchables, so whether or not it's core support, you kind of just walk at her. So,
and I think that makes it even more likely. I agree with you about the 3-inch. Okay. Well,
what?
I was saying it really should be a 5 Enchantress because you're playing against a Lesh. Like, you don't want to put a high priority in that.
Maybe
hero.
it's a 3 o'clock?
It is, right? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if you get a fast blade mail, like, you're more effective against Leshrac. Same goes with, like, you really need 4 staff against 2 of these heroes at least.
I like Jug or something like that for
10 seconds
for a droid here. Just like hard to bring down. Geek Fam's entire lineup's about killing you right now. You need some sort of self-sufficient hero. None of your heroes right now offer save. So what I see from Geek Fam's draft is kill, 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 and I see no save. So I if I'm picking my carry right now, I'd want a hero that protects itself and doesn't rely on its team to back him up.
Well, we talked about 2 high regen heroes earlier. Lycan and
oh yeah, Lycan looks pretty decent against Lycan. But if I personally haven't had an experience to play Lycan this patch, so they go for low druid.
Instance.
Naga
Siren. Wow. Oh, the disruptive Naga combo. Yeah, the one thing about this 2 band thing, moving or the 1 band now between the first and second round is I said that it becomes much easier to combo because you can't block as many late pick combos in the draft. So I think Disruptor Naga is going to be a perfect example of something we see more and more, where because there's just these late game bans, or late draft bans, now that they've seen some of your draft, they'll be like, we might be afraid of a Disruptor Naga combo or a Darkseer or Spear combo or whatever. They're not going to be able to ban all that out because there's only half as many bans. So, pretty nice Naga Siren game, to be honest. She's really nice against Enchantress in general, in the lane. Just, if it is a 3 Enchantress, it's nice against 3 Clockwork, because Clockwork has Battery Assault, which is single target. So she should have a good lane, goes well with her team. They have real no way of shutting her down on her farm, like invading the jungle until Nyx 6, plus I think Adroit's going to have to draft a follow-up to threaten this Naga, like a Storm Spirit type hero, like a long reach. You know, whoever the Nyx scouts out can follow up immediately, because I don't know. I don't really think Adroit's draft does anything right now. What do you think, Cap? I'd ask Grant, but he's only here to be the host. So.
Yo, what up?
It is a very weird lineup. Like I don't like I'm waiting for that piece that all of a sudden makes all these heroes make sense.
Yeah.
You know, right now it's just a bunch of small little pick off, and you have the lone druid who, yeah, like I think it's a good mid laner against Leshrac, right?
I believe it would do well, yes.
So you have that, but that, like, I don't see a whole entire game plan here. I don't see how your team fight is going to be anywhere close to taking on GEEK FAM, especially if cooldowns are up.
There's no pick you can pick here that wins team fights, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so
you
either.
have to go for
like
pickoffs.
I thought about like Puck, like maybe they're going with some sort of Druid Puck combination, but you can't do any of that. Plus your lone Druid's probably mid.
Death Prophet's a good ban, I think, because you don't necessarily win team fights that way, but it may be really hard to fight the DP lone Druid. Before you get like level 2 ultimates kind of thing. I thought Lesh might have been significantly nerfed by the Boots of Travel, but they also reduced the mana cost on his ultimate as it levels up. So maybe we'll see more. This may even be an offlane Lesh where he builds maybe Greaves pipe kind of build. We'll kind of find out here.
So I was like, I don't remember this team being a Miko team. And then I was like, I definitely don't think they were a lone druid team. That would have stood out to me in Southeast Asia in particular, because I don't feel like there's a lot of lone druid players, right? And I was like, so I was just looking it up. I was like, this would have stood out to me. Only Mac has played lone druid, and it was once, and it was like a year ago, 2 years ago.
That's pretty
dude, Adroit's pulling out all of the surprise picks all of a sudden. I wonder how surprising they actually are, given against a team that should know them a lot more intimately than we do.
Yeah.
But
this is a moment I wish I was taller, like Grant.
Sorry, you're not.
I've gotten the message. I'm just messing. Oh, okay. Well, there's your win condition. Usually, when there's nothing clear for you to do, the best option is to make it so when nothing's happening in the game, you're winning. And the Alchemist is a pretty decent hero for that entire idea. Is it going to be good enough? I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, when we look at these two lineups now, I mean, Naga and TA, they're going to be in that jungle a bit. Alchemist, it's a last pick Alchemist and a lone druid. I should just say, which core duo do you like more, the Naga TA or the Alchemist lone druid?
I think the Alchemist is not greedy enough. Like, I don't think they recovered the draft. I think the Naga TA are going to get all the farm they want and crush it.
I agree. I like GEEK FAM more.
Okay, sounds like we might be having a game 3, but you know who might know a little bit better? Dakota and Blitz.
Wow, thank you, Grant. We'll see if we know better or not as we get into game number 2 of GEEK FAM versus Adroit. I'm here with Blitz, of course. Now, these lineups look a little more farm-centric. Let's build up what we got, and then we'll use that. Now, on one side, as mentioned, it's a TA Naga Siren. On the other side, Alchemist, Lone Druid. And Lone Druid is already pretty scarce in the Southeast Asia scene, so kind of intriguing on the side of Adroit.
I mean, I think Lone Druid right now is a really good hero. Like, you have an easy way to get around. I really just like free high ground hitters. That's why I'm a big fan of like Meepo, Lone Druid, Lycan, all these heroes that have like a easy, clear way to end the game at a reasonable time. I think are really good. I agree with the panel when it comes to like the Naga being very this game, but I actually think that GEEK FAM are gonna lack for damage again. I sort of feel like that's going to be their issue 2 games in a row.
All right, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case or not. Let's jump into it now. ESL 1 LA Online Edition coming your way. I hope you are ready for nearly a month long of Dota action, because we are. We're going to be traveling into the studio here every day to commentate and bring you some awesome Dota action from across multiple region fronts. Here, of course, starting things out South Asia region, we have GEEK FAM, like one of the top seeds of the region, smoked out. We're gonna have an early head-on clash potentially here. Will disruption's already there. There's stuff makes it all that much easier. The thunder strike. Bob trying to push him back, but he's not even gonna bother leveling anything up, trying to make it out. That's just gonna be a clean and easy play going the way of the GEEK FAM.
Yeah, nice and easy for them. They need a good early game start. They didn't really have that last game. This time around, nice, clean, easy. I will say, I love watching Southeast Asian games. Yeah. I think they're so aggressive. After spending like significant time when I was on Zephyr in that region, it's great. Everyone just runs at each other. It's like, it's kind of toxic because you've got like dual lane mids, but no one's like really throwing the game. You just kind of make it work.
It's just kind of like, you know, we were talking about MMA before. Like, I want to see brawlers, these brawlers. I get it, you know, jujitsu and submission, shoot, wrestle fighting. It's got its discipline, it's got appreciation, but, you know, the fan favorite and what people want to see is the brawlers.
Yeah, I just want to see two guys trying to knock each other out, and that is what we get here. Look at like, watch, but they're doing it.
An assertion of dominance is what we're seeing here, but
he's still rocking it.
Oh, he got the rocket snipe.
All right, he griefs his game a little bit, but that was a boss move. 100% agree with that.
He needs more tips. More tips for that one. I don't know if they agree or not.
I don't know.
Now he has a rocket for the laning phase, so we'll see. He already dishes out. I'm just going to use it to push the lane back as best I can, but him and Enchantress are going to have to make do.
You know what? Why not? Actually, you're against Naga Siren. You're never going to get on top of her. You might as well. I actually think this might be one of those like weird games where
it works out.
Yeah.
Maybe not. They have to shrug off the harassment coming out from those Thunderstrikes. You know, Clarities have gotten, you know, buffed, nerfed in a way, but I kind of like, I mean, just juice up more mana that much faster to dish out the extra harassment from a support like Disruptor, who does have pretty good damage with the Thunderstrike early on.
I love new Clarity. Yeah, it feels like you just get full mana every single time within like seconds.
More value for later games when you see people just pocket Clarities to get the mana up. It just works in those cases even that much better.
Yeah, I really like this decision by iStrong to like make him better, because it's just, why would you get a Clarity when you could buy Main? Like, what is the advantage in this? And they mess up that combo. Actually, I think he was afraid of getting stuck from maybe the Carapace. I'm not sure though.
Maybe trying to force out the Carapace and chunk through his mana much earlier, but not going to be the case. He steps off. He's got the headdress. He'll try to heal it up in a couple of wall charges. Work with the pull now.
I have a question, Brian. Okay, if you get Shadow Demon disrupted by the enemy team, then they Naga, or they Disruptor ulti on top, can you be out of it as you exit the, if like you get Ags disrupted? Not with Ags. Let's see. Because I know, for example, if you get Shadow Demon, if you're Chrono, for example, and your Shadow Demon you can always get Rage off in the Chrono after you exit the disruption. Do this one.
Oh, just the combo's there. The stun, you have to disrupt.
That's one thing I love about Dota. There's so many weird interactions that you like never expect until you test it yourself. That's what I love about Brian too. Normally he has the answer to that stuff.
I'm normally as bad, and a lot of you guys are thinking about these possible interactions, then jump into demo mode to find out for sure. Hopefully it's something exploitable that you can take advantage without the frog existing. But meanwhile, bottom lane, they chase down White Mom, finish off support. Bach this time playing the off-lane Clockwork.
Dude, maybe they're just like the best Clockwork team in the world.
I mean, they're making it work. Foot shot was really good for them in last game, and this time they're going to see if they can get that off-lane Clockwork online that much sooner for all the steps.
So far, so good. I think, so the panel did say like they thought it was like a very good Naga game, but I personally feel like it's a very free out game too. I don't think they have the damage necessary to kill out. Like, they're gonna have to hit this timing where Alk, they're gonna have to get Disruptor Aghanim Scepter, because at some point Alk can get BKB right after Radiance, and he's just gonna go to work on them, I feel. He's gonna cut them off.
Disruption stun, the Carapace is there. Who needs a damage is now forced to run the other direction. The bear still chases on. Shadow Poison's coming out. Oh, still entangle at the end with the stun. Stun comes out from the other side, but that's not going to be enough. Nice forgiving tangle. Means that next sweep will pick it up. Apparently I've been saying it wrong. Feel terrible. It's Adroit. Not Android. Adroit. Okay, I don't want to say it. Thank you so much for correcting me on that. I'm a little rusty on my Southeast Asian Dota.
Oh no. That's a salve too.
That's rough. I know that, you know, the whole like passive goal thing is not a thing anymore, but that's still got to be a bit crippling early on.
I'd be so mad. Whenever I'm a mid laner and that happens to me, I'll get the core.
I didn't see it go down in particular. Was it just a bit overstep for the career, and TA was able to kind of...
He just side-bladed behind him. I don't even think he was going for it. That's just one of those
convenient.
Right, here's the best part about Alk games: the fight for the bounty runes. You try to get 3 if you're really good.
Oh, snipe up. Grab the troop.
It's 2-2.
And
they'll take Paimon for it. Dude, they're so good at clock. I have no idea. Maybe just Southeast Asian teams in general. It's like the best clock players. Because I thought it was precise. But they're just all good at it.
In 2-0-2, no cogs at all for the time being.
I think that's the right play. Like, who are you really trying to cogs?
Yeah, maybe just get to the right point once you get closer to having hook shot online.
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of okay for TA, actually. Maybe you can grab a level for the TA. You are 4.
Wolf for big stun onto Cuckoo and all the neutrals. The poisons are flying from the lines here.
He's not getting chase. He's not getting roots. Oh my lord, he did not get roots.
Fortunately, RNG not there for our lone druid friend. Yeah, that kill will slip away from him.
As a caster, by the way, I personally always root for the RNG to happen.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love it.
You'd rather see the... Well,
I don't
guess
care
it goes
who
both
it happens
ways.
to. Like, I love seeing the opportune DD runes. You know, finding the haste of getting chased and it's the only rune that can save you. all that stuff, I love it.
Definitely makes for better action and convenience.
Sure.
Block. Burden able to get quite in front. Come on. Slips out away, but, you know, Adroit claiming dominance here in the bottom lane. Not able to get too much damage onto the tier 1 quite yet. Raven still holds that line strong. They are putting pressure on the mid lane, though. That DD Ruben in hand of Carl. He's able to siege away some early shots that he definitely want to kind of restrict to the available mid farm, or just kind of make things a bit awkward for the Alchemist, I imagine, so he can't just be as free in the mid lane.
The time you're looking for here is 12 and a half, 13 minutes for Radiance. That's when you're like, you know, shit's kiss, sweet spot. That's when you're really happy. Anything later than that, it feels really bad because Alk, especially when he gets Radiance, it feels like you're exponentially growing.
Yeah.
And so every minute for the hero matters. You're like, well, does like 15-minute Radiance really matter? Is that the difference between getting like a 15-minute Radiance to like getting a PKB like 3 or 4 minutes later versus getting it at like 20 minutes into the game where enemy heroes have items as well? Like, you're placing your own items against the enemies at all times. This is how you should think when you're playing Alk. You always want to be at least an item ahead of everyone on the map.
Is it enough of a potential threat that it warrants the attention of Geek Fam? Should they be considering putting attention onto this Alchemist so he can't secure the Radiance in that ideal time? Or are they okay just kind of getting their own out of it and hoping that Naga can just try to meet along the way?
I think they're kind of okay. Just get some roots, get them.
Oh, Cuckoo dancing around his tower through the trees, and nothing there to lock him down. And it is Zephyr who falls. Destruction's there onto Natsumi as he tries to make his hasty escape with the bear as well.
It's getting a little bit low here. Does have to be a little bit concerned, and let's finally get one, but have to get like 3 in.
Oh, wait, what? Did he just have that many poison stacks still stacked on top of him?
Yeah, that's level 3 poison. I don't think he expected that.
That is level 3. That's a hard snap of the poison damage right there.
He just got hit by like a 5 bomb, and he was like, oh, whatever.
That's a lot of money for goodness.
He's actually really leveled off of that.
Shot out. Bach has it. Still no bugs yet. We're with 3-0-2 on this one, but more than enough to get the job done if you're chasing someone like Wipe support. Meanwhile, on this side, it's Carl to assist in getting the slap down of CML there. So a tit for tat as we get the 9-minute mark. It's about to be outpost time, so look for the tension here. Certainly coming up from Adroit toward bottom lane. Seeing if they can try to circle around that outpost.
They have to find a way to get more than 2 bounties. That's always like one of my favorite things, by the way. As I mentioned earlier, is you do strategize a little bit differently against Alk teams. Because if you're getting like 3 for 1 bounty runes, again, this hero, like, the amount that you get from bounties is so massive. And the 10-minute and 5-minute bounty runes, like everything before the 15-minute mark matters so much. Because once he gets his Radiance, it's like, whatever. He's gonna get a ton of gold anyways. But like, the 5 and 10 minute bounty runes where he's starting to ramp up farm really. If you can get rid of all of them, or if you can even get rid of 3, you're really happy.
Well, while that happens, we do have a bit of a pause here. I'm trying to look over some of the buildups coming up from the other side. Carl, who was assisting in that recent takedown, looks like he's slotted up, going for the Deso first, then the Blink after on this TA. You know, I guess, you know, you don't want to go for the Blink too early if you don't have any sort of extra follow-up DPS. I imagine this team might just kind of come together to be able to make it work. I mean, do you think once Disruptor, oh man, he's only level 3, I was gonna say, gets to level 6, you have Sleep and you have that combo coming out, but do they even have the time to wait out for that, or should they kind of have a call to action sooner?
I think you probably just wait for your TA to get Deso and then you start making moves. But this is all right, here's the play, right? Okay. What needs to happen now is they need to get a Philosopher's Stone. A lot of players have this theory that when a Disruptor's in the game, Philosopher's Stone has like increased 30% chance of dropping.
Yeah.
Of course, it's complete BS.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. But players are superstitious, and they'll just prove them right if this wins this game.
From miles away.
For now, they're gonna get some heavy siege going. I mean, once that Deso does come online, they have that. They have the Lesh going in for more of the double bracer, the heavy stat, tanky build up here. They can start clearing out tier 1s. Hopefully trying to restrict farming that is available for this ALK to really come online. But that is on GEEK to kind of try to get something done. For now, TA obviously working through the tremendous amount of DAC camps that are all around. Fox stepping in now to try to disrupt that flow a bit.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think he expected Cuckoo to do that damage, and that was a really nice move by Cuckoo. He takes attack 2.
He throws the tip out. No class coming.
He's getting really farmed.
Yeah, TA been chunking through all those neutral camps that have been farmed on the side. And pretty much for the past like 2 minutes, I feel just straight neutral farming. I know, jumped in a little bit too, and was not able to cancel the outpost. And he just goes right for it himself. 5 seconds. It gets canceled from disruption. Is that going to be enough? It should be. That outpost is not going to get changed for Wilson P.
Did they get both? Yeah.
But they do get the snare and the cute little takedown, unshadowed even for their trouble. But yeah, that means no extra and EXP boost for Adroit going to be worth.
How many bounty runes split? That's really what I care about. Gonna be 2 for 2 again.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's 10 minutes, 23 seconds into the game. Yeah, remember I said 12, 13 minutes. 12 minutes is like, pretty happy with that. Especially with the laning phase where he just kind of got shut out. Just walked in the jungle. Both bounty runes are still up. That made me a little bit nervous, Dakota.
Yeah, but, you know, Adroit wouldn't even seem privy to it at all.
Okay, if Boom goes, don't boo me. No, I'm south. You would have found it.
Oh, he's spotted there. The sentry ward right there. He just gets blasted. Nobody gonna see it. The TA will see it now.
Oh. It's like, oh, well. One blip. He swerved on us. I thought he was gonna go with Destin. I thought he was gonna go with Destin, like, try to prompt an early Roche or something.
Well, the Disruptor is about to face 6. So we got to fight. She can blink in, and we saw the damage there on the next assassin, even without the Deso. Really make it happen.
Oh, the Alchemist Dream, the little skeleton spawners. Let's go, Troll Summoner. That's like an additional, like, 2 full creeps throughout.
Yeah, that had been, like, in the game forever, I feel. Just the fact that ever since Alchemist got that, it's like, oh, we always want to get the neutral camps to have the extra spawns. Here we have a shift from GEEK Fam towards the bottom lane. Zephyr leading out the charge, wards to the high ground. See Boomy nearby. Do they want to commit? A little out of reach. And he already goes into his ult up the other side.
There is something I should mention, by the way, with something that changed with the Alx ulti is like Chemical Rage no longer gives you mana regen. So illusion-based heroes absolutely wreck you. Naga, when it comes to like the later phase of the game, you feel really good playing against those or you feel really bad playing against those types of heroes, the Alchemist. Like they will start to outskill you when your BK gets low. So the first time of the BK for back is going to be massive, but he does get it at 12.5 minutes. We said like what, 12 to 13, he'll be all right. So just right in the middle there.
What about the Lone Druid? I feel like most of the attention has been on the Alchemist for them. Looking over Lone Druid's items, it's nothing to really get excited over. It feels like he could just quickly be overshadowed. Is there any chance for him to be really relevant in this game, or is it just feels like Alchemist is the star of it?
I think it has to be the star of the show.
Okay.
There's the bad this game too. Is like Mac really has no one to give Ags to. There is no excellent Ags target. It might actually be Clockwork is your best bet for giving Ags to. Nyx is really good too, I guess. But because your Nyx is already so poor. Like he doesn't have levels. Boomy is level 6 at 13 minutes. You need levels for them, and so I feel like your 2 cores don't benefit from it, which a lot of other cores do. It's not like you've got like a Zeus on your team or something.
Yeah.
So, for me anyways, the attention kind of has to be on the Alc. Like, he himself has to win this game. If it gets to the point where he's giving out Axe to everybody, I feel like they'll have lost it that way.
Jump in, hook shot. All for Zephyr. Be an easy snipe. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much right there with you. I think it makes the decisions a bit easier if Adroit feel like they're going to be on the offensive. Clockwork feels like a great candidate for the Axe to get those hook shots out. Maybe if they find themselves in a defensive position, this could certainly be a lot easier out of the Axe. Meanwhile, mid lane, DML snipe down, jump in with the ED.
I just think at that point the game's over.
Yeah, I mean, if they're on the defensive high ground, then it's already not looking so good, I imagine.
It's a Naga, let's go.
Yeah, later as it goes, it only gets better for GEEK Fam, but it's kind of a bit of how it was last game, too. Here we'll see Adroit just not letting up one bit, and the GEEK Fam turf, but they see all the TPs and they decide to pump the trains.
I really like how they play, though. These like, timing, if we get to this game, you just straight up lost. I always love those games where like race against the clock.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the old school like anti-mage, can you slow him down before he gets Battle Fury Manta.
So you'll see teams the heavy push of Ugnas or some kind of lineup that just wants to siege forward and that prime window of 25-30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
But then when the clock's going past that, you just really want to cry.
Can you imagine the way they Adroit got Shovel? This is a really early road. Let's play a lot. They need to do something like this before the game got dead. I don't think they're in a position where they can fight this either. GEEK Fam are well set up for this. And I think Adroit are well aware this is going to give them some time, and that's what they need.
Oh, might have been hearing on his block feeling right here. They're blocked crying.
Look at this. They're patrolling back and forth.
Not going to give them a chance. Nice positional aware there from Raven and Whitemon. They're just not even allowing the sneaky grand stages. Oh, speaking of Philosopher's Stones, it does pop up on one. But you're right, that shovel. I mean, certainly it's still a bounty room, as I imagine this guy just real chef's kiss there for Alchemist.
Yeah. And we'll see if pro players' theory are proven right. If GEEK Fam get Philosopher's Stone of their own for their disruptor.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Lined up for Mac. Meanwhile, Raven's doing his thing as top lane, able to spare the Vita. Fuck Naga. It was the Elk show, but the point they're not able to flourish, able to kind of push the objective forward. That Naga could be the problem they're on. They are bottom lane, creeping around this tier 2, getting about halfway. Adroit waiting on the high ground here.
They're making canvas right now. Not gonna like this position if you're GEEK Fam.
Bump him back. Oh, the disruption though. It's there. The song comes out. Where disruptor gonna get dropped right on top of the wall. They blow up the Nyx. Clock's gonna be next. Soup trying to fight for it. It's just in the Nyx. Can't do anything about it. He's forced to bail out. And this will look at all GEEK Fam here. A couple of stragglers able to make the way on the Adroit side. That could have been way more catastrophic, but GEEK Fam, they rotate over and they hold the line.
Thought that was going to be really good for Adroit for a second. I thought they were going to get the 6, which But instead, like they were perfect with their position, their spell usage. Instantly drop that sleep. Not even gonna ball. We're going to take out. He's got BKB, but we can make even more important here. That's
Jump in as you see, and all the defensive tools coming out. Oh, they're gonna get sleep and such. There is, yeah, he slapped down in the long game. Triple kill Mac as he's able to slash it apart. Missed that action, but I assure you, he was quick, fast, and in a hurry. He blocked over the hog, and then Mac got them over.
And the dangerous part is, I'd say to like 5-6 seconds of BKB timer, you're not really gonna feel comfortable playing against Sal. And even then, he really only needs this BKB to be able to survive against the Naga Disruptor combo. Like Static Storm, what, it lasts for 5 seconds. That's perfect BKB. He needs damage though. He needs an AC Abyssal to be really effective in this game.
We'll see if they're going to be able to build it up and farm. GEEK FAM just sliding their way back out from the base after that recent 1-2 punch. Adroit, who had come up short in that bot lane, able to kind of get range back. This game's feeling a little neck and neck, at least if you're looking at the net worth, if you're looking at the score. You know that Alk is the biggest boy on the block, at least for the time being.
Lone Druid needs items,
But yeah, the Lone Druid is fortunately still that shadow core. He falls behind the block work and hurt the net worth. And speaking of block, not able to quite catch his hook target.
Active. They can kill him twice there in the position.
TA just out past the river, could have been in trouble. The opportunity's now gone. GEEK FAM are also looking for opportunities themselves. They want to make some use. Looks like out of this age as possible. All their ults are back up. They want to try to wombo combo it. Or do you think it's best for GEEK FAM to reserve the song for cases it's on the bottom lane and keep it more reactionary?
Have to save it for
To save it?
I think unless you find like all three pumped up like this. What are you doing?
There they go. How about this for reactionary? They move on in. They set up the song onto 3. There's the Static Storm. The leg get in position. They pop the blade mail. It's not the damage. Adroit's looking to fight back now, shoving Carl back and out. And Snare Fly forward. Step gets the stun, but he is getting all by the pair. They're catching more here. Jump in. Beautiful set. Box buff back on Carl. Carl can't make it away. That's going to be down.
They got a time to stun here.
Coming in from behind, Zephyr will on Raven, and they're not able to make it to bail out the TA. Lose their own life trying to disaster for GEEK FAM. They lose another. A buck force from Cuckoo. Oh, it's got a custom lot. Adroit, big winners here. Pull up. Oh, they expect a lot, but the glimpse. GEEK FAM trying to stick something down.
They really want to make this one of those like buyer's remorse. We have to make this buyback worth it, and it's just gonna be. Now I want to watch the replay that because I felt like that was so well for them at first. I think the rest of their back or their front line just wasn't to damage because in the previous fight they caught 2 heroes. A 3-on-5 fight is just as good. If you get the numbers advantage here, you're gonna be so happy about this. So they ulti on 2, but then Cuckoo, I don't know what ends up happening. He doesn't even cast his stun for some reason, and then he just kind of runs away and dies.
Yeah, very awkward. It looked like a beautiful setup. The Static Storm was there. You know, Cuckoo a little off the draw, but outside of him, there's no damage really being offered there. I didn't see TA slashing the team apart or anything like that.
You have to hard commit for that fight, and if like they just pedaled too soon, I think they got cold feet. They were like, something is going wrong with this fight, and a lot of it was like Cuckoo was way too hesitant on that stun. Just lay out. If you miss, but there's a timing where you let off the sleep and you can get it off 100%. That was tough. They really needed that fight. I thought their positioning there was sick. It was going to be the perfect fight. Like their Aegis was just about to fade. They got one more fight out of it.
Fortunately, that's got to be a bit of a hit to the morale too. It's one of the better setups you can ask for, and that skyrockets the Alchemist that much further. But Down, then shaking. Geek Fam, pop the smoke, and we gotta get back into it. We gotta get these teams dirty. To pull this one back. Eyeballing the mid lane. And he just pops the BKB down. He hits the helpful glue.
I kind of like that move. I'd rate that move like a B, solid B. You don't get a kill, but I think at this point, luring Alchemist BKB charges is probably better than like killing them.
They were all concise in their agreement that, you know, it's not happening. Let's go back. Let's find something else to do for the time being before it's another charge down later. So to the attention of bottom lane as they finish off what looks like the tier 1 tower.
I do notice one thing from GEEK FAM stylistically. It feels as though they want every play to be worth it. Like when they go for that knockout combo, even if it doesn't look like the ideal fight, they're like, oh well, we've got to try. That one Cuckoo buys back, and they're still chasing forward to try to like make it worth it. They pop that smoke, and they're like, well, at the very least, we have to get him to pop this BKB. Like we're getting something at all times, or we want to get something at all times. It seems like they're really reluctant to just kind of be like, okay, trade.
Right now, as they push through the bottom lane, looking to get some damage onto tier 2. We have Adroit pushing their tier 1 successful there. Song though comes out. Raven is all the way up just for the Bear Man himself, and the fall stat storm is there. But is the damage? He just gets the east glimmer, and they shift their focus instead to Natsumi's Bear. It's taken quite a bit of effort, but finally get down.
Got numbers now, and Hookshot barely misses. That would have been huge. Cuckoo, no buyback.
Globes back as well onto Bo3 so that Chase couldn't be there. It's a Bear. It's not the worst thing in the world. As the new Bear is double now, and they get right back to work. Now going for the tier 2.
Roshan, it will spawn in 8 seconds. That's going to be massive for them.
Yeah, there's no thaw for the time being, no stack store for the time being.
They're going to there.
And that could be big. The Bear was just on cooldown, but was able to make it out.
Oh man, they're Dakota. They are not setting up the combo perfectly though.
Things look a little rusty, crusty for GEEK FAM this day. So let's see if it's speaking too soon. Grabs the arcade from himself, is getting a little bit of poking harassment from the other side. Troublesome.
BKB, but he shouldn't be afraid here. He's got his ulti off, got Abyssal, like gotta save it. Discipline.
Alright. Oh, Bach. And TA cross pass briefly. Lots of attention all around the Roche pit, like you were mentioning before, as the war down. There's a glitch back onto CML, but FAM hesitant about their step back from. Boom! Beautiful setup from the high ground with a two-man it's a clockwork kick jump right in action. Calms them down. And now we'll see the big bad Alchemist go or drop down 2.
And he's actually ignoring the SD. He's chasing, but the Invis is going to stymie him for the second. And that is right of the Roshan pit.
Should be an easy follow to go in and go for the Aegis now. Beautiful positioning there from the Nyx Assassin 2. Already being on that high ground, waiting behind.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
GEEK FAM were just all out of whack, unfortunately, for their positioning.
They have to know that the optional has to pair with the Naga Start Sleep so that he can find the angle. And right now, they're just not finding that.
And when they do find it, it feels like it's just not nearly. They will get knocked down. Spell, just an easy net jumping from the TA. But like it get upward though, as the Roche is halfway dead, the buyback comes out from that edge, jumping, fall back, TA. Song is there.
Get out, get out, get out.
Can he blink? Yes, he can.
Do the stall.
The hit of the TA. They're not done. They want to make it after, like you were talking about before. I saw, can we do anything with it? It's about a thievery.
Yeah. Look at this. Carl's looking for it right now, and
get in there.
The Bear's almost dead. Could maybe hold this if the Bear dies.
Natsumi has to send the Bear back. Mac though wants to finish. They started. They're just outside. They got the stack store. Mac snatches up the Aegis. That doesn't mean Geek Fam were able to get the last hit. But wait, what matters now?
And it's full retreat mode now.
Mac has no man to work with unless he does. He doesn't need it. There is that quick takedown of Kuku and just assert dominant because of those hit. Raven on the run, but the hook shot is there. No song for 20 seconds.
This is so rough now.
Stun. Got him.
It's like 100%.
No disruption there to help out. That is 70 seconds. No playback on your Naga. And now on the up and up. Big fight. The Roche Aegis taken. 9K to 10K net worth advantage. Oh, look at all the items coming now. Lone Druid. A mule arms for bear. Oh, spider legs.
If they see that deep, ooh, that's tasty. And yeah, they know. Mac gonna run for it when they're ready to go behind.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh goodness! Now we got to think what is left here for GEEK Fam. It would be unfortunate for them to be in another position where it's just all high ground defense and just falling back once again on this song stack kind of combo in hopes that TA can really bring down the damage.
Middle tower is under attack.
But their economy just does not match up to where Adroit and certainly the Alchemist stand. Hook not going to be there this time.
Has fallen.
Tier 2 is successful. And the rich get richer.
I think Fam are rushing a little bit. Feels like they're playing with a little panic. Like they're not properly comboing up their spells. This is a very good team. Like, I'm in much more good positions than this. I feel though.
Oh boy, a song to catch them out. The stack onto two.
Look at this.
I don't like this. They back up immediately, changing gears from just trying to take fights because they look appetizing. This time, deciding wiser that they pull out. But that's too old down.
None of them feels good right now. GEEK Fam, I think they call that time. I think that time they realized like, oh, this is probably a lost fight. Almost gets the one shot off.
But they needed that judgment earlier when the fights were just so much more meaningful. Here it's like, you know, Adroit are just so big based on all those unfortunate decisions in earlier fights. GEEK probably should have said, no, we can't do this, let's go.
And 4 bounty runes. The dream.
It's like 3K net where they're just like,
that's the Exodia. They actually got so much.
Is it pretty much Agnum's time? Yeah, it is. Alex next item it up is Ags.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He is so strong. They have not managed to kill him once.
Radiant structures are
like
fortified.
we said, that part of the scariness about playing against Naga is like Naga Disruptor is really good when like he gets fast Disruptor and you get this like unbreakable combos of getting the one kill here.
Yeah, poor little Cuckoo trying to push out that mid lane. Booming it bot. They'll scout him out, take him down. GEEK Fam doing an all-out effort to really siege forward through the bottom lane. Well, they're inside the base, actually at the Tier 3, trying all they can to get focus from Adroit where possible while they're pushing in onto this mid lane, pushing into the high ground. They're getting quite a bit of damage. He does have that agent fall back on.
Box really tanky. He's got Greater Fairy Fire, Blade Mail, and a Vanguard. He's got like 4 HP to work with.
It's going to cost a life to create that base, that little bit of social distancing, if you will, so the Clockwork can make it back to the comfort of his friends. But no! Carl really wants that kill. It might cost him his life. Well, it cost him the song. Yeah, no stack storm, no nothing. Just
I can't believe he jumped
safety net. It's like, I gotta get that guy. We worked so hard.
Now, Lumi's finally gonna come all the way up the so diligent push down. This is gonna be the center racks at least. They've got to be careful not to give up even more.
There's no initiation really here for GEEK, and they have to just hope that right, do some sort of mid player setup, maybe here on the bring back. They wait threat its life. They'll not the kinetic field. Really can't get smart, but the rope getting huge damage for Carl. Do not underestimate how hard this rope can hit. That's it. They get it. Mac does finally fall.
And now they need to press forward. GEEK FAM has to get more out of this.
They got the thirst moving in. They get the snare for the bear. It's already setting. Oh no, they got him. That's the glimpse. They'll get bopped too.
All right, that's how you right the ship a little bit, Dakota.
That helps. They're going to need more than that. For sure, but it helps.
Oh, man, this TA, she's wild. She hits
really hard. Man, the Deco MKB, and you know, now you have a crit stick.
The uniform reduction there did work. She just ran through. Do they have an AC or anything?
Yeah, they do. I just checked that now, and there's an AC in the pocket of that alchemist. And here we'll watch the action again as push into that high ground. Just look at the damage.
HP gone. HP gone.
There's just no bailout from his support. He just has to eat it.
I'm gonna ask if they had a Vlad's, because they just need all the armor that they can really get.
Any extra mitigation that's possible. Certainly if it can come in from someone on the outside. Only have stuff like Glimmer, but it's not gonna stop the heavy amount of damage coming out from the TA.
Yeah, that'll inspire new hope now. You know that you can make this alchemist bleed. You can cut him.
And now she has a full-blown Daedalus complete, too.
Yeah, and no pun intended, but don't sleep on this Naga. Like you said, Raven is starting to pick up items, almost has his...
Because that's the thing, they have two very good, competent core in their team.
Yes.
I mean, Adroit is getting himself back into sort of, you know, relevancy. That's on his bear. And bear seems to be, you know, can be handled.
Yeah, it gets chunked pretty quickly. I think they need a second set of racks, and timing for... It was really good until that catastrophic fight happened. If they can get
on from Raven, maybe? No, he just ensnares full meanwhile Natsumi, eating the damage. The Savage Roll comes out. So pick on the other side, they immediately burst down. That's it. For the bear man, Natsumi. Jumping character stun.
Here comes the he gets
nice two. Catch right there. Song from Raven. To just bail out his comrades. And they're running back.
It's a nice little trade. You will take that trade every day of the week. You're slowing down the timing of the Alch draft. Get a core for support.
And this no Adams there.
There's going to be 4 wins 2 times in a row. My version of Dota Dakota, the game instantly ends. When you get 8 bounty runs, when you get 4 in a row twice, the game just should end, in my opinion.
How is the gold rebound factor? I heard in like the early editions of this patch of you know, A in version A or whatever, it got a bit out of control, and then they had to kind of change the numbers a bit. So, you know, games like this with the Alchemist being super big, he could be a pinata. Bottom side, traps loop. It is enough to create the distance to make it away. But
I think the kill streak's net worth, or experience is a lot more annoying.
Okay, okay.
And trust this Alch is no longer on a kill streak.
Still net worth, but net worth is only going to get you so far. Whoa!
That's a nice kill.
Slot, but they get the snipe on Pikeman. That is the stat storm off the table. He does have buyback if it comes to it.
Like, he's chasing right now on Mac, but not really going to find anything. In fact, the Bissell's one of the illusions. He's going to need MKB for himself
here. TA in Roche Pit, sniping it down by himself.
Really nice.
Nice. And it looked like Adroit none wiser. Just
they're not focused on that.
Now they're going to head back that way as what happened? Someone going to be over here? Nah, they took that Aegis from behind your back.
Dude, Carl is in it to win it right now. Let me just say.
Is he a 10k MMR player? Or is that Boom Sports? They have a 10k mid. One of them have like a 10k mid player. And maybe Carl.
Who is the latest? I saw that tweet too.
Crit, I think, was one.
I know Crit got it, but I know a Southeast Asian player got it too recently.
Been putting in work. I watched some of their just from the week play event. Whether it be an active core like TA or even like the DP. Definitely step up.
They do have another Abyssal Blade, but I don't know how much that makes a difference right now. It's item pick for sure, but they still have TA problems. Without the alcohol off, we see how quickly he dies. His TA, and she's only gotten stronger from that point. She's got a full data loop now.
She is packing heat. Bo3 manages to creep into the back lines here, get some damage onto the Shadow Demon. Quickly slide to the side. They're looking to go focus, but grab a TA. Can they push down? They will get engaged, but Matt is there, fighting the Naga. He burns out half his life. KB, blink out, sleep, and here comes GEEK FAM looking to dish hard and fast. Set up onto two, the static storm. Nyx trapped inside with Enchantress. Nyx will fall. Picks that one up. And now reposition, looking back and moving in. Clock separates him out with Cox. TA heads out both
here. This would be excellent. And there's no mana on the bear now. It's a pretty underrated factor to think about. Considering Abyssal Blade does cost 75 mana.
So what was that? An Aegis for Nyx? Did custom setup and everything they had. Don't know if it's enough to force Adroit to push forward now because of these ults being on cooldown. And they are at least cutting across to the top lane. No towers here, but a possible setup on for Carl. There's
This would be pretty big.
There's the hook shot.
She doesn't have BKB. He can get on top of her, and he's trying to make her way up. And do they know he's gonna go for the blink out? After they had the TP, I think they would have gone.
But I mean, that is a big kill streak.
I don't think they saw him. I think he just panicked there.
That's rough. Let's have a buyback if it comes to it. But certainly not a freebie of a handle there. It's Bo3 who gets last hits. Nyx is thankful for the little bit of extra gold. But Adroit just kind of taking it right back to him. They do have to deal with not playing, man. Raven is making it a bit of a nuisance.
There's the 25 out who does have travel, so he does want to join his team. I think you can at least force the buyback at the very least here. You want to put GEEK FAM in a really rough position, but no TP yet for Mac. This new booster travel change not helping him out here at all. And so she might actually be able to ride out this 40 seconds, Dakota.
Having to do the buyback, that would be great for GEEK FAM. Migrate down, get a little bit of vision down from across the river to that high ground. They'll see the D rune. Nice deny there from Raven.
There it goes.
And sure enough, they are going to work with the time on their side, and Adroit are finally coasting their way down this mid lane.
A little bit too low though.
Yeah, at that point, TA will return. All the ults are ready. The GEEK FAM certainly have a strong fight on the high ground too.
Look at this sweep
bottom though. Yeah, Bo3. Huge damage on the disruptor. Glimpse is there, but
he blinks himself forward.
Yeah, oh, was not sight there. No stun, TV out, he's gone.
Goodbye.
And that's good because, yeah, I'm pretty sure he might have a buyback for that. Oh no, he did.
Oh, Raven! Ooh. Oh, if they were like the fastest team ever.
That could have been a early catch. Could have forced an early buyback.
That was a scary TP. Nice move by Bo3 to check there in the first place. But GEEK FAM, ooh, they know how to get the heart racing.
Now they just shift all of their movement to the top half of the map, and they'll push up the mid and top lanes while Adroit go for their final outer tower now.
I'm the big Carl fan right now. He just completely bought out. Doesn't have buyback. Isn't even close to it. I'm playing the player now. He's like, once I get the butterfly, you guys cannot touch me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, there is even MKB plus finished on the Alchemist.
Does pick up a kill
down of Whitemon. Yep. Not gonna be fully invisible as TA. Certainly not if the Alchemist can get a hold of her.
Oh well, Whitemon just bought out too. They all just bought out. None of them or a lot of the heroes don't have buyout. Dude, just straight up don't have it. That's the next level. the way, Dakota, is that every team just assumes that you have it. So then when you don't have it, it's like, they'll think we have it anyways.
So we could plan until it finally bites you on the ass, I guess, the one time the team tries to make a push happen. But you're right, for the time being, no sense of real urgency at the moment from Adroit. But as I say that, they do get a nice jump in, a nice bump back here. And Mac gets the T away onto Carl. This is out, the Raven. That was all he used. Cuckoo moves in, looks up at his set. Oh, not quite get the stun. Mac's able to set back off the Manta. Dives on that hit. And just went forward. Meanwhile, backlines just chugging away, looking to go for Cuckoo. Forces him back. The slide's there. The hook shot finish Cuckoo off. But it puts the buyback. Bond trapped behind lines. Drops out the coffers. Fortification now going to be dished out. And they'll finish Bach off.
Let me just say, Max was like hitting neutrals on his way. He's like, guys, I'm 100% not fighting with you. And his team did not get that memo as
Clockwork didn't, at least.
Yeah, and they missed that combo again on the Alchemist. I think it would have been enough damage to get the kill if they were able to get it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the song felt like it was forced out a bit sooner than they'd like, and they had to reposition, and he's far out from the gate.
This TA, though, is getting pretty close now to his
being capped, almost, right? Oh, dieback failed, of course. She's also just...
Oh, Naga just bought out
fully
too.
decked.
GEEK FAM are just straight up playing, we need the items. I like it. By all means, like, at the very least exciting for me, at the worst, like, at least you're playing with like a full, like, 6,000 gold more. I'll never hate on a team for trying to win.
Just hope that we get to see it flourish in some sort of fight. It would be quite unfortunate for them to get paid off and then all of that spend just go for nothing. GEEK FAM will have to be disciplined and hang together. Oh, they had a DD picked up Carl, but I don't think an opportunity will present itself to make some use out of it here. Adroit are kind of still half split between trying to push across the river or not. Roche is around the corner. It looks like about a minute, and it will be spawned up and ready. Here a hook shot, but looks like it was just to go to the top lane. So just gonna kind of catch up the Roche perimeter here. This feels incredibly important, more so for Adroit at this time.
Yeah, that makes Adroit now does have the Aghanim plus himself. They're gonna see Matt.
Glimpse back. I think this is just a little bit of keep harassment, maybe a prey for a BKB charge, but not going to be the case.
They're just poking to see what they can get. And I guess Siren does have buyback now, as does TA, so he got there in the end. I like that. How it worked out.
Looking to catch out GEEK FAM from behind, get a successful team fight, and then a Roche. But if they don't see GEEK FAM at all, they might just round the corner, go back in for the Roche. That's what they do. But there is Naga illusions. And GEEK FAM quickly head the other direction. Yeah, Raven is leading out the front. Does have a...
Stuff? Yeah, he's getting... Whoa! Can get in the pit now. Did not reserve enough time. Does not look like it. The song is there. The bear tries to fight through it. Roche is so low. He gets... And then that storm is going to be an get for Mac. He'll hold. He'll turn around. He'll begin to chick away on the reach save of the disruption. And Mac is left one inside the loop where he gets that finish. That lone druid bear. The savage... And that's enough for to be able to secure the Roche for themselves. Oof. But what you're saying, the Savage Roar helping to push them back and create the space for them to get the finish on the Roche. Or this right here, they get the kill on Bach.
Sonics themselves inside the pit.
Goodbye.
And then they all go running out. Yeah. Enough space for Mac to kind of get the job done, and then he just cleans house. Paul doesn't even want a piece of this. They know that it's just not going to be a worthy fight for them, and they will hold another day. But ball in the court, Adroit now, as Aegis is going to be in the pocket of Mac. and use him as a battering ram to try to siege into the base if possible. It had been hard enough already for GEEK FAM to just get the one takedown of this Alchemist. And they gotta do it twice.
I'm seeing the Monkey King bar just like get dropped and picked up repeatedly. Not sure what that's about, but
From back?
okay, now he's ditched his radiance. Exciting. Running in battle with his radiance, and because his 25 it does use items, so they're just getting a radiance. The courier radiance. This is like the nextest level thing I've ever seen.
They can't use items, but the radiance burn still works.
The radiance burn is kicking.
Nice.
It is definitely still working.
Yeah, it's on the curve, so it's definitely burning. Looking to disrupt things out. Pops is looking out. He's just but the bear going to work. They're just looking at the big eyes, and they just out the racks in a blink of an eye. And then their lead. They just gotta do that one more time, and they can claim megas. And they're getting some good damage on Mac. They could force out the Aegis here. They do.
And Mac is just straight up dead. The radiance is still floating.
They don't want to have to deal with that. Try to get him on the choke point, drop down the stack.
He's running courier in circles around like a roving. I don't even. I haven't really seen
daggers of everybody.
You haven't really seen this very often. And somehow the courier doesn't die through all of that. I think if they. I'm not even sure if they realized that was happening. I haven't.
Where
actually
is the
seen
courier now? It's not heading back, is it?
Yeah, it pieced out.
Oh, did they get the radiance?
He was like, thank you,
Oh,
see
he took it back. Okay. Didn't he have to use his refresher shard or anything there? Nice.
So cute. Man, go Southeast Asia.
Definitely pulling out a lot of fun here. Two teams that have a lot of experience playing against each other. It's just the first match of the league. Got plenty of matches to kind of fall into your own groove, but for now, want to have a little bit of.
Where's the? Is it dead?
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, here it is. He smoked the top.
The bear pretty much had no mercy on the racks during that last exchange. Bot jumped in, and it was a bit of a peculiar position for him, but definitely the space and time of needing to kind of close out what was important. And now it's just top 8.
I mean, Demolish is so good against things. Plus, Alf just gets away. It's 15 minutes, and they're still kind of doing it. I could still see a way for GEEK FAM to win, though. Like, you can see that the potential is there. Like, their team blows people up real fast. The TA still hits.
Oh, going for the... Oh, bear.
It's gonna turn around.
Oh, man, that bear is no joke. Abyssal blinking.
Hex took the counter hex, but they could run away.
Yeah, no, they got picked up. I mean, pretty good trade for GEEK, I guess. Did they get the bear? Yeah.
And they know that Bach is mid, so they know there's no follow-up to this. They might even still feel pretty confident. That doesn't have the Aegis, of course. And they're pinging that are kind of spread apart right now. We've got to deal with bottom lane. Plus, his Alk Illusion at top has already cut the wave, so even if they got a kill, not really anything going for them here.
It's not a Radiance illusion, so it's going to take a little bit of extra work, but nonetheless, doing the job. And what about for Raven here? And is trying to catch up in the overall net worth at this time, but is already looking at critical mass. Has a Silver Edge lined up as an option, but you know, I'm with you that GEEK FAM is certainly not out of this one. Only one more set of racks separates them from the Megas. This is a team that can hold off on that and even take it back to Adroit if the opportunity does arise.
They're smoking right now. This could be what they need. They have the Aghanim Scepter, by the way, on Whitemon. They really needed this item. And at 52 minutes in, with no Philosopher's Stone, he finally has it. He was praying, please give me this item. And he's got it. There was one hard work.
I assume it also silences neutral items. For a while there, he did have the Minotaur horn on the Alchemist, but changed it. It looks like for the Illusionist Cape. Now support illusion.
I think he's just using it to push up the lanes.
No, you're right. It's that.
You want all that integration. Plus 26 is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, definitely not. Okay, fam, after
Radiant's top
their
tower is
smoke
under attack.
around here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa.
How are you gonna die?
Tower has
All right.
fallen.
Hey, well, that's one step.
Through the back door.
Oh my gosh.
Completely through the back door. They did not anticipate that, and shut that was and not assuming not gonna lose the bear here. In fact, it's just gonna BKB TP itself out.
Oh man, well that's got to be something now itching the back of the head of Geek Fam though. That they're gonna always have to watch out for, whether it's get some wards down or just somebody designated to that top lane. You'd hate to lose like that. You don't want to get engaged like cheeky little bear play.
He's gonna go for it again, by the way.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt him. Look at him. Look at that bear. Smoked it up. Dirty.
That's not Smokey the Bear.
That is dirty.
He does not condone for it.
Oh, check the other side. He might need the bear to come back.
Where he disrupted. Oh, he's not even close in position to cover that. He just went to sleep.
They got the bears going to town too. They're gonna have to make this work because the bear is gonna take base otherwise. Taking the fight. Jump in here, comes out from the clock. This is gonna wipe on it, and we'll go down. Not even able to cast the bear. Pushes through Agnum's backdoor protection against it. Oh my gosh. Atsumi chunking away at the base. Stuck here. Kuku to go to the racks with one more hand. Can't get the finish, but almost got Megas with that alone.
That Rax is not regenning. Oh my lord. Alright, one. He tried to make the journey in. That's booby.
I'll do it if I gotta. Comes in too. Someone get it out. This is it. Joy come in. The punch to finish things out. Raven drops double buyback there, and this is already the final draw of Geek Camp.
The supports don't have buyout.
Never even see. Yeah, we stacks. We'll see the combo. The combo won't even come. Carl is gone. The big to Adroit, and it looks like they're going to close the first series 2-0. Here's the final. I'm sorry.
They don't even get stuck up a combo.
Nothing for Geek Fam of this series, unfortunately.
52 minutes, finally Disruptor. And I'm supposed to be his like, I did moments. I'm gonna show you why this combo's broken. And he was nowhere close.
Boy, oh boy, but it's